The southern border, and it's pretty tranquil. There's no wall, but there's these steel slats. They're a bit porous, which allows for some nice breathing room, keeping the border comfortable and free of any funk and odors. Letting the border relax and alleviating any creeping up, riding up, bunching, or chafing. We don't see any drug mules or any cartel members, and
I'll be right with you in just 1 second.
All right, thanks. Adrian, our extensive coverage of this docile border has left us pretty famished. I think we need to take a second and...
Sorry about your wait, what was your order?
Yeah, can I get a BK broiler and a 10-piece chicken nugget?
What kind of sauce?
Southwestern barbecue sauce, if you have it.
What kind of sauce is it?
I said Southwestern barbecue sauce. Stop noodling me. I mean, we're down here at the friggin' southern border, for God's sake. Did you just crawl across the border and put on a paper crown? I mean, I'm trying to make the president look bad. You know, libel and slander, and you decide. That's what I was hired for.
Say what you want to say about Cortez. She's not unattractive. Whoopi Goldberg, ugly as dirt. She one ugly woman. She ugly. Whoopi is jealous.
Making radio great again. The Cartel with Matt and Ron. This morning at 11. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out WeThePeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
All right, lock up your daughters. Lock up any underage girls because he's loose. The wiener is out. He has made it out of federal prison. And his first words...
Congressman, what'd you order? Hold on a second here. All right. They're in here?
Everything's in there, baby, yeah.
How you doing, buddy? Not a lot of talk. I'm sorry, my friend. What'd you order?
Those are the sounds of reporters on the street trying to get Representative Anthony Weiner, disgraced ex-congressman Anthony Weiner, to tell them what he had ordered from a street vendor as he was walking into I guess an apartment or a halfway house. I'm not sure if the AP did this on purpose, but here are just a few of the first lines from the story on the Associated Press. Disgraced former Congressman Anthony Weiner has been released from federal prison after being convicted of having illicit online contact with a 15-year-old girl in 2017. Time flies, first of all. Federal Bureau of Prisons website shows the 54-year-old New York Democrat is currently in the custody of his residential reentry management office in Brooklyn. It is not immediately clear when Weiner was transferred and where he's staying now, but Weiner will have to register as a sex offender and spend 3 years on supervised release. Yeah, under the terms of his sentence. The Prison Bureau and Weiner's lawyer didn't respond to emails seeking comment on Sunday, but he was apparently spotted in his New York Mets baseball cap. I wonder how much the Mets would pay him to not wear a Mets baseball cap. I don't know, just saying. You might not want to be seen as the brand of a convicted sex offender, but that's just me. He's going to serve out apparently the next 3 months in the Bronx facility before he is released outright in May with an accumulated 3 months off for good behavior. I wonder what prison was like for him. Because remember, in prison, you just have to lay there and take it.
Look, dude, his name is Weiner. You know how prison was for him.
I can't. I doubt he was in Gen Pop. I have a feeling he was in an area all to himself. He was, what, 15 months in there? That's all, right? 15 months of a 22-month sentence, I think.
Wow, he's been in there 15 months?
Yeah, he went in November 20. Yeah, he served 15 months of a 21-month federal prison sentence. He went in November of 2017. Yeah, November, December, January. Yeah.
Wow.
So he's been out of the public eye for 15 months, and he's now back in the public eye. So I doubt that he is going to be. And by the way, his wife didn't divorce him. She filed the papers, and then they decided, I guess not.
That's because it wasn't in the news anymore.
Right. He's at his sentencing again. He told the judge that he was a very sick man for a very long time because of his sex addiction. Which sex addiction has always been a weird thing to me, because if humans weren't addicted to sex, I think that would be a problem, because there wouldn't be too many more humans if you didn't enjoy it. Just saying. His attorney said that he'll likely exchange thousands of messages with hundreds of women over the years. He was communicating with up to 19 women. Dude was prolific in his sexting efforts. That's got to be some sort of a record. She filed for divorce. Aberdeen filed for divorce in 2017, but the two, who have a young son together, later agreed to discontinue the case in order to negotiate their separation privately. That's code for it's an arranged marriage. Whatever's best for both of them. So anyway, watch your daughters. Keep them out of sight. He is back. He is back on the streets. Another headline caught my eyes in New Delhi. India's fastest train broke down a day after launch. It broke down on its first trip a day after it was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Vande Bharat Express was returning to New Delhi from the northern city of Varanasi on Friday before it was forced to stop at Shamrola Station, about 120 miles away from the capital. According to a statement released by India's railways minister on Saturday, there were communication issues between the last four coaches and the rest of the train due to an external hit. I know where Doc Thompson was that day, so it was not him. They checked the train for faults. They moved on to Delhi. So apparently they're having problems with trains everywhere. And if you hadn't noticed, today is President's Day. This is the third Monday in February, President's Day. Of course, this year, February 18th, it was established in 1885 in recognition of George Washington. The holiday became popularly known as President's Day after it was moved as part of 1971's Uniform Monday Holiday Act. This was an attempt to create more three-day weekends for the nation's workers. Several states still have the individual holidays honoring the birthdays of Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and other figures. It is now President's Day that is viewed as a day to celebrate all U.S. presidents, past and future. And present, presumably. So if you have the day off today, enjoy it. It's going to be a heck of a day. So much weirdness. And Ron, tell me if you agree. This was probably the weirdest weekend I've ever spent. How about you? Was it just
look,
surreal?
It was surreal. We met a lot of fantastic people, a lot of the family. I remember I sat with them on Friday night, just sat around the table with them, and we just shared stories of Doc growing up and things going on. And, of course, we had, 30 or 40 listeners.
Oh, the jackholes were out in full force.
Were out in force.
And
that was fantastic.
It really was. It was a it's funny, I took one of the cards that they give you at the mass, and I took notes because everything was just so damn weird. When we first went to the viewing, which again is one of those weird things, where that ever came from as a ritual. If you were dropped in from another planet, and you were dropped in at the viewing of for a funeral ceremony, I don't know how they'd look at that. It's like you lay the body out.
Yeah.
And somebody brought this to my attention. We all know it was a rental casket. First of all, it was too short.
See, you didn't have to go there.
Yeah, I did. I absolutely did. Because I wasn't going to go in. I mean, you saw me. I did not want to go into the.
Did you actually end up going in, Brad?
I did. I went in.
Good for you.
At the very end, as I was walking out, and I turned to Cal and Beth were standing there, and I said, "Am I making a mistake
by not going in?"
By not going in, because I really didn't want. That doesn't freak me out. I mean, if it was anybody I didn't know, I could stand there and I could look at it all day. Right. Remember Porsche Girl online?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, see, those are
images. Do
images.
not Google Porsche Girl. Do not Google Porsche Girl Blue Waffle. I'm just telling you, don't do it. But if you do, you'll understand what I'm saying. And so that doesn't bother me. It fascinates me. But when it's somebody that I know, that to me, I just didn't want to go in there and have some image of Doc that I could never get out of my brain.
So what did you think? And the reason I'm asking the question is because, look, somebody laying in a casket never looks like they did when they were alive.
No, when my father-in-law died.
For you and I to have had the images in our heads that we had.
He did not.
I think he looked good. I did.
So
as good as you can.
Somebody, there's an old joke about a guy gets out of he goes into the hospital and ends up dying, and the next couple of days they have the funeral, and somebody goes up to the casket and says, "Boy, old Bob sure looks good." And the guy looks at him and he says, "Well, he should. He just got out of the hospital." When you are hit by an object that weighs 540 tons, and I'll admit it, I've been online looking at cows getting hit by trains.
This is our morbid thoughts segment, right?
I want to wrap my head around it. I want to figure out.
We are an investigative people. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I want to find out. To me, I want to know, and I didn't want to see the body laying in the casket. I just did not want to get that in my head, but I did. And as far as the way he looked, somebody, was it Beth who said it looked like Doc's grandfather? Maybe.
Yeah.
Patrick, Food Biz Pro, said it looked like Doc Thompson and Don Rickles had a love child. It was just, you can try to picture that one. You've got a good shot of it. I honestly, to this right now, I can't remember what it looked like in the casket. Can't remember.
Well, and that's our brains blocking things out. And you know what? That's fine. I'd rather, you look at the new header I put on our Facebook page or on our website. That's the way I want to remember Doc, with that little look on his face and him pointing at you. And the bottom line is
I remember him naked.
Did he look good for what had happened? Yes, he did. And I'm glad that they were able to open that casket.
Did he look good for a guy who'd been hit by a train? That is a very, very low bar. Just saying.
It is. But you know what they did do? They put a smirk on his face.
They did.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. It was, honestly, I didn't get close enough.
That was his parting shot, Brad.
It was, yeah. And Russ from Odyssey Radio, he came up to me the night of the visit. I guess that was Thursday night. And I guess he sent you and Beth an email asking if it was appropriate to give me,
Russ Hosledge.
Yeah. The Star Trek friendship necklace, which is like, if in life, if we had this, it would have been quite gay.
It would have been, but you know what? Tell me you're not thankful for that right now.
Cannot. And when he gave it to me, I said, and what it is it's the Star Trek badge symbol, but it's like in two halves, and they're held together with magnets. And when the two pieces are together, it says, "I have been and always shall be your friend." And it's from the Star Trek. I think it's Star Trek 452. Yeah, that's right, because it was when Spock died. Spock's in the nuclear chamber there, and he's trying to get the lid back on the nuclear stuff. And, of course, it ends up killing him, and he can't reach out to Captain Kirk, and they have to touch the glass, and those are the words he says to Kirk. "I have been and always shall be your friend." When I've always been quite touched by that scene. I know it's not real. It's just actors, but somebody wrote it, which means it happened in someone's life. And I thought it was very cool when Russ gave this to me, and I said, "Look, I can't go in there, so you're going to have to put the other half with Doc." And he went in and he laid it on Doc's hand. And I think you may have thought it was a little goofy, but I'm very glad, because that's with him forever. And I've got this other half. It's one of those things. It's a little human ritual that I don't know, makes you feel like you've got a little part of them forever. Besides, two of us wouldn't end up fitting in that little box that you end up fitting in when you're cremated.
Big spoon, little spoon.
It would have been very, very cramped in that box together.
And
just
dark,
saying.
dude.
Very dark.
Yeah.
Very, very dark. You ever shaken a box? You ever, someone that's been cremated?
No. Why would I shake a box of somebody that's been cremated?
You just got done saying we're an investigative people. Why wouldn't you want to investigate it? And you go up there and you shake the urn. My sister was
I'd be
cremated.
afraid I would drop it. I'm not going to shake the urn.
She was in a little, like a copper box, and I would go up there, and my parents had it forever, and I would go up there and shake it. It sounded like sand with rocks in it. It is weird.
Basically, I mean, that's with rocks in it. Yeah.
You know, after
it's not rocks, but
it's pieces
bones.
of bone. But they go in there, and they once they put you in the oven, they pull it out, and
they have to crush them.
Yeah, they put you in a blender.
Yeah.
Or they put you in a what do they call pestle and mortar and pestle, and they crush all that up, so it's in little bitty chunks.
Morbid Monday, folks.
And then
Morbid Monday. Here we go.
We're an investigative people. You said it, not me. And so, it's strange when you shake that because it sounds like, again, a box of sand and rocks in there. The entire day was just weird because then you had my view, of course, at the funeral. I know we weren't supposed to take pictures, but I did. Tweeted the one. My view was the back of Matlock's giant head and shoulders. I literally could not see around the guy, which is okay because we sat in the very back of the church during the funeral, mainly because that's where Doc would stand at any meeting or other gathering of people, just so we could sit around and make jokes about the whole thing, which was a good thing because I sat next to Cal. Beth was on one side, Cal was on the other. Cal looked down, and there were the pencils in the back of the pews, and Cal looked over at me, being the Muslim he is. He said, "What, is there going to be a test on this thing at the end? What are the pencils for?" I don't know. Funerals are so dirgy. Every hymn they sing is a dirge. It's just...
It is, but you know, I've been to very few Catholic masses, and I'll say there's a lot of exercise that goes on in a Catholic mass.
Boy, it's a lot of ceremony.
It's up, down, kneel, up, down. Nothing's wrong with that. It's just not the religion of the church that I go to. So.
Right. I went to Catholic Light Church, Methodists.
Oh, okay.
And thing I most remember is uncomfortable pews and the weekly beating. Brian Sack, who
he's hilarious.
I think in a tweet he summed the entire event up. He said some Doc Thompson show funeral highlights. Robo Priest 5000 reading scripture. Doc's blasphemous frying pan. Bittersweet speeches. Tom Waits karaoke. People still upset the BS of A was canceled and seeing how many people loved and respected Doc. R.A.P. Doc. Apparently in the Catholic Church, the priest sings the hymns now. I guess
it wasn't really singing, though.
It was more like this and talking.
And somebody mentioned that the voice of man, is that what they said? The voice of man should not encroach onto the word of God.
I don't think there's ever any danger of that, quite honestly. But
well, he had to. It was way robotic, and that was odd to me.
We are gathered here in Manhattan.
And he would always sing and hold that last word.
It's just straight for somebody who doesn't go to a Catholic church ever. It is a weird, again,
it is.
Imagine somebody coming from another planet and dropping down on this. It's like, what are you people doing?
Well, there's a lot of ceremony.
Yes, there's a great deal of ceremony involved in it. And the weirdness just kept coming. We were delayed by a train going to the...
a very long train.
On Saturday morning.
Yes.
Which, when I took the picture of the train, I tweeted that out. And of course, as it went by, the FedEx car was the one that popped out, which is what Doc always talked about. Once you see the arrow in FedEx, you can't unsee it. On the way back from the funeral and celebration, we passed alpacas. We passed a door with a house with a devil front door. We passed a Volkswagen buried halfway into a barn. The weirdness.
You took a picture of the devil house.
I did.
With the skeletons crawling.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was very strange. And then I was reminded of this scene.
Crops burned, stores looted,
in Blazing Saddles.
People stampeded, and cattle raped. Now the time has come to act, and act fast. I'm leaving.
Hey, you get back here, you pass. Can they say to Wender, ain't no way that nobody's gonna leave this town. Hell, I was born here, and I was raised here, and dadgummit, I'm gonna die here. And no sidewinding, bushwhacking, hornswoggling, crocker is gonna roll my biscuit cutter.
Now, who can argue with that?
Reverend!
Reverend!
I think we're all indebted to Gabby Johnson for clearly stating what needed to be said. I'm particularly glad that these lovely children were here today to hear that speech. Not only was it authentic frontier gibberish, it expressed a courage little seen in this day and age.
The thing about Blazing Saddles, everyone, as you know, if you haven't seen the movie, it is quite the entertaining piece. It never goes out of style. It is horribly offensive to anybody who decides they want to be offended. But everyone is named Johnson. There's Howard Johnson. There's Gabby Johnson. So the gag was all of the Johnsons, especially the Howard Johnsons, live in Rock Ridge. But the funniest thing is we're leaving the lodge on Saturday morning. We pull out of the driveway, and one of us, I can't remember who, looks over and said, "Did you see the sign?" And I think it was Beth. She said, "Did you see the sign on the lodge out front?" And she said, "You're not going to believe it." And I think that's what I said. "Ron, turn around. Turn around. Turn around." We went back in, and it said on the sign in front of the lodge at Geneva on the Lake, "Welcome Howard Johnson Wedding." I can't help but believe this is a sign from beyond from one Doc Thompson.
There was a lot of show fodder going on.
There was just so much that happened that if you believe that it is possible to reach back from beyond the veil of death and tweak people, I can guarantee you that one Doc Thompson is doing that. He is finding every way possible to reach back through time, through whatever dimension you cross over into, from heaven, however you want to look at it. He is able to reach back in time, through this interdimensionality, and sit there and just right on the back of our ears. Every so often, you just think everything's normal. Boop, he flicks you on the back of the ear again, just to let you know he's there, and that he's going to make sure that little odd things happen from now until the day you die. Because, and again, meeting the rest of his family for the first time, I can understand. So many pieces of the puzzle fell into place over the weekend.
And you know what's cool is that Doc exhibited a little bit of everyone in the family.
Yes, he did.
When you're talking to this person, you can see that part of Doc in that person. You know, we talked to his siblings, we talked to his mom and stepdad, and it was just very fun to get to meet them and just visit with them.
I wish it had been under separate circumstances.
Absolutely.
But his brother Dan, when Dan got married,
Dan was a
Jeanette,
riot.
Did you know that they had to do they brought the ceremony for whatever reason? Doc was in the hospital, so they had to bring the ceremony to the hospital. So their Doc is laying in the bed. There's a wedding picture of them all there with Doc in the bed in the hospital as part of the wedding party. So for whatever reason,
his nieces and nephews were there, all of them talking about Uncle Mike.
Do you know? To which I responded, "Who's Mike?
Who's Mike?"
They wanted to recreate the wedding photo around the casket.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did. They wanted to gather everybody around they thought, and they decided not to. But
you know what would have been a good addition to that?
Would have been perfect.
Put a sign right there, right inside the casket that says, "You'll find me on the roof."
God, Doc's on the roof.
A lot of inside jokes there, but
oh no, there. And the other thing that we learned that is the fact that the Jack Holes, it's a family. Everybody came together as a family. Nobody is any more or less important than anybody else, because in the end, we all end up a little pile of dust in a box. Now, whether or not you end up with a Patriot Mobile phone in said box of dust, that remains to be seen. But if you go to patriotmobile.com/doc, they are the proud sponsor of Funeral Talk this half hour right here at MoJo 50 and Doc's Daily Mojo. They've got a great slogan on their site. I just saw it today. It may be brand new. Hashtag MAGA with your mobile. I like that. You see, if you have one of the big boys in cellular right now, said it before, it's still happening. If you didn't know it, a little piece of the money you pay to those big guys every month goes to fund programs like, say, Planned Parenthood or some other left-leaning cause that you likely do not support. If, however, you support causes and institutions like Independent Women's Forum or PragerU, Camp Hope, Students for Life of America, Empower Texans, the NRA. Those are the organizations that you will be supporting with a Patriot Mobile account. Dana's picture just flashed by. If you go to patriotmobile.com/doc, you will see a great picture of Doc. Looks good in this one. Dark hair, lots of it. Exactly the way you want it remembered. And you will find out that you can not only keep your existing phone, your existing phone number, or you can get a brand new one. They'll even credit your account with up to $500 per line if you still have some time left on your old account. The bottom line is this. If you want to support some conservatarian causes, start at patriotmobile.com/doc. Hey, can you see if you can get Izzo on the phone? Because I want to talk to him about Jussie Smollett coming up here in just a second. See if you can get him on the phone. All right. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. Tennis legend Martina Navratilova finds herself in some very hot water today after she dared to express her opinion on the subject of transgender athletes and calling them wrong, calling it cheating, calling it insane. That's exactly what she said. This is an opinion piece written in a UK newspaper where Navratilova claimed that allowing transgender women, and I'm using air quotes, to compete in women's sports is insane and cheating. She wrote the column in the independent newspaper in a response to fallout from a December tweet that she said saying, "You just can't proclaim yourself a female and be able to compete against women. There must be some standards, and having a penis and competing as a woman should not fit that standard." Close quote. I agree with Martina. It's not fair. It's not right. She does not want to compete against a guy who says, "Today I feel like a woman." Good for you, Martina Navratilova. Good for you. Now maybe you can stand beside the guy who was booted from a free speech conference because he said women don't have penises. I know it's only Monday, but it looks like it's going to be a week filled with sanity and truth and maybe a little hope for normal thinking to rule the day. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
As always, get those tweets and comments coming in on Facebook, on the Twitter. Whatchamacallit says, "Wake up, rants of Izzo. Real Brad Staggs wants to talk to you about the Chicago hoaxer."
He's on the phone.
Oh, is he good? Oh, good. Stinky says, "I wonder if when you die, your hair plugs go back from whence they came." See, here's a common, no, can't read that one. Pickled Squirrel, drinking with Doc Thompson show sisters. Oh, my. Let me just tell you, those Thompsons can put away some alcohol. Just saying. Izzo, you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on?
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Jussie Smollett thing that seems to, and to use probably a really bad choice of words here. Well, as Doc used to say, when you have a situation like this, all you do is give them more rope. You feed them all the rope, and eventually they'll tie it around their own neck. Which seems to be the more we get into this, what Jussie Smollett did. He's kind of cutting in and out there, Ron. Can You there, Izzo?
Yeah, you hear me, or what's going on?
Well, it's our stellar phone system here. Let me see if we can get maybe a better connection. So you know what I think is probably a better idea. Why don't you just come in here? I mean,
jeez, this is ridiculous.
I know. Just get on in here for those of you listening. It's going to be a whole lot easier to hear Dominick Izzo when he's sitting, like 3 feet away from me. So I think. Ladies
I started to say, what the hell? How come it took him 20 minutes to walk across the room?
Well, he's putting on a little weight in his old age, and
do you guys? This is the first time you've dealt with like phone lines in Texas?
Well, you know what they say. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, one Dominick Izzo, the rancid Izzo, joins the program here. Hey, don't we have some applause somewhere?
Top right, Brad.
There it is right there.
There it is.
Yes. There's our phony applause just for you.
That's pretty much very fitting for me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, welcome to the broadcast. And for those of you listening, it's Dominick Izzo from the Rancid Izzo, which what time's your show on every night?
We are on 7 p.m. Eastern every
9.
Monday through Friday here on
MoJo
50.
I can never get it's all this whole Eastern versus Central. It just confuses me. But I wanted to get your take on this because Jussie Smollett, this whole case from the get-go, smelled the high heaven. It just did not. Something was wrong with the whole thing. It was just too pat. The fact that he gets attacked where there's no video, first of all, and then they're yelling these homophobic and racial slurs at him. You know where he screwed up?
Besides being in Chicago in the first place?
Besides that, and then as they ran away, they yelled, "This is MAGA country."
They don't yell that in Chicago.
Nobody yells that.
Nope.
That is the stupidest thing to yell anywhere. It just doesn't make any sense. Well, things are kind of unraveling for this guy. The latest now, the two guys, and it's kind of funny because he swore up and down that the two guys that they found in that grainy video that were his attackers.
His Nigerian brothers there? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go figure. You mean you have another black male liberal from Chicago who's going to ruin and divide the country with lies? Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. It turns out that those two shadowy figures apparently in that video were, in fact, the guys who took part in this thing. It just wasn't quite it wasn't quite the narrative that Mr. Smollett wanted it to be.
See, you say Smollett too. Thank you.
I don't know how to say it.
I thought it was French. I thought it's French, and so it should be Smollett. So thank you. It
works for me.
Yes,
it works for me. Turns out, apparently, and this is what the cops apprehended the two brothers, Nigerian brothers, who apparently had not only been on Empire, but had also been like his personal trainer, one of the guys.
His extras. So bottom line is he knew him.
Oh, yeah.
Or knew the both of them. That kills me.
And paid them, and again, another weird aspect of this, they say, because the police picked these guys up last week, I think Thursday.
From O'Hare, yep.
And they were headed back to Nigeria?
No, they were coming back from Nigeria. So that gave them enough time to get to Nigeria and back.
And when they got them, they not only arrested them, but they searched their apartments with a search warrant.
Which blows my mind. I think I said something about that. Made me uncomfortable considering the fact that if all you had, it either shows the brilliance of CPD, which I've got my back and forth, or the power of being able to get a search warrant just based off of two shadowy figures. Let's go get a search warrant for this person's house.
It's pretty amazing. The deal was, according to the brothers, that they were going to get a total of $4,000. Now, here's how the weirdness of the deal was, that they say that he paid them, that Smollett paid them $3,500, and they were going to get an additional $500 on the back end, which isn't that ass backwards? Shouldn't you pay them the $500, and then once the deal is done, you get the $3,500?
They sold themselves real cheap.
He said that, of course, Smollett says that the rope that was wrapped around his neck, and again, another aspect of the story that made no sense, was he didn't call the cops for like 45 minutes after the alleged attack occurred, and that when the cops got there, the rope was still around his neck, and he says it was because he wanted the cops to see. He wanted them to see this rope. Well, it turns out that he may have bought the rope himself.
Bungee cordish or something like that. The gay rope of all ropes.
I'd read that it was like clothesline. And here's the weird connection that when I read this, I thought that is weirdly bizarre. So when we were up in Chicago, it was
I'm sorry.
Actually, I kind of like Chicago.
Sorry. Get to visit.
It's an interesting town. I don't know if you heard my experience with Chicago gutter water, but we'll get to that. So,
I was in a band called Chicago Gutter Water.
Oh man, that's
tribute to Led Zeppelin.
Nasty.
Yeah.
But I guess we were in the Ravenswood area, and I was walking down the street early one morning looking for coffee before we went to the restaurant show, and I came across this hardware store that I'd never heard of before. And I even took a picture and put it on Instagram. It was called Crafty Beaver.
Yes. Yep.
Which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that the rope was bought from that particular store, the one that I took the picture of and put on Instagram. That is the Ravenswood Crafty Beaver, and that is what the police say. That is where the rope was purchased. And I'll bet you they haven't said it yet, but what do you want to bet they have video?
The inside, yep, 100%. 100%.
Of him, and they haven't said anything about that yet, but I'll bet you they do.
It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to bet this is going to take a turn to the opposite direction where in some way, shape, or form, you're going to see these two guys willingly take a fall. And now I didn't know that was the dollar amount of what they went for this. If they offer, you're going to get their criminal lawyer, hey, you're going to take this. You're going to say you couldn't stand him. You don't like him. You attacked him. Smollett is going to get out of this scot-free somehow, and these two brothers are going to take a bigger fall.
I don't know. If they have, because I would think the cops, and they've been, I have to hand it to them, they've had to toe the line on this thing. If they came out at any point and said, we don't believe him, you're homophobic, you're racist, you're this, you're that.
Chicago's damned if they do, damned if they don't on either side of this because of our state's attorney, who's just, she's a criminal sympathizer. Woman loves criminals for some strange reason. They can't do their job. They had 12 detectives working on this case, which irritated me because they had a 1-year-old shot in the head 2 weeks ago. I don't think they had that much manpower put into that case. So I can't stand when these celebrities get all this attention, and then if you do not prosecute at this point, I have no faith in Chicago's government.
They have to. If it turns out, if they have the evidence, and I can't imagine at this point that they don't have the evidence. I mean, they must. If they don't have the evidence showing Smollett actually buying the rope, and they've already gone out on this ledge, they're in huge trouble, because that will look awful for them. But the fact that Smollett came out in the interview with Good Morning America and said not only was he angered by the attack, but he was angered that people didn't believe him. And he's holding on to that one, which I'll bet you that if the cops have that evidence, they're going to say, look, you either admit to it or we release the evidence of you buying the rope.
He's an actor, and actors are inherently narcissist, and they're what is it? It's one step below a pathological liar where you still believe in the validity of your own lying. And God, if he's a method actor, that's even worse. He believes this he was doing good.
Yeah, it is. Then when he went to the weekend after it happened, he performed at the Troubadour and sang. I didn't know he was a singer, but
but his throat was injured, and he still sang.
And he said initially it was broken ribs, then it was bruised ribs. You can't sing with bruised ribs.
You guys talked about that. You guys talked about Ron's inability to. It was Matt. Matt had an inability to do it, and I don't.
Yeah.
If we're going to stick on the theme of pooping, I would have to assume that it's hard to do with bruised ribs too.
I would think so. You ever tried to poop with bruised ribs there, Ron?
No, you can't poop with bruised ribs.
You have to do take laxatives.
Yeah, that.
Okay,
there you go.
Just checking. I had an ex-wife who had cracked. I know she had bruised or cracked. Anyway, it was she
didn't listen. Obviously,
she didn't listen. But she was laid up on the couch and she barely breathe, much less
next time you make that sandwich when you're told.
He had, of course, the backing of most of the Democrat Party. Kamala Harris tweeted the attack was a modern-day lynching, while Cory Booker used the same term to describe the alleged attack. What did Cory Booker has now? This is the headline from 16 hours ago. Cory Booker is now withholding judgment on Smollett case after calling it an attempted modern-day lynching. This is what happens. This is like when Obama came out, the cops who
the Cambridge police.
Yes.
That is where the attack on law enforcement started. Our brilliant president, who I did support at the time, even though I was a Republican, came out, and before he had all the facts, anytime somebody talks about where all this waiting before facts started coming from, it's the Obama.
Right.
The Cambridge police acted stupidly. For an acting sitting president to say that, he started the ball rolling for everything we're dealing with today.
It's crazy. And that's the problem, is that these guys, they come out and they because it suits their narrative, they come out and they start backing up the story immediately. Everybody goes to their corner, and the left says one thing, the right says another, and no one waits until there's enough evidence. This story from the very beginning sounded strange. And there were some who called it out to start with. And there were others that said, no, this is, as Cory Booker did, this is a modern-day lynching. Now this whole thing is starting to unravel, just like the rope around his neck, which just seemed absolutely asinine that anyone would do that. The other thing...
You obviously haven't been to Chicago much, the attention whores they have there.
Was this where it wasn't the South Side?
No, it was it was downtown, and they got, from what I saw in the media, we have these streets that run under, like Michigan Avenue has a lower Wacker, or Wacker has a lower
Wacker.
Yeah,
I barely knew her.
She had it coming.
Right.
He was a lower platform.
Right.
So I'm assuming if he had to have, this is the perfect spot. You know, no one's going to see this. I don't think he counted on those cameras or anything. I don't think he did his due diligence. I don't think so.
Apparently there was one camera down there, but it was pointed the wrong way, because the police even said that when they interviewed him down there at where he said it happened, was he pointed out the camera, and he said, "Look, good thing was the camera right here. You can get it on." But it was pointed the other way, and the police said it was odd that he even noticed there was a camera.
Yeah, he he
was holding his cell phone in one hand. He had a sandwich in the other hand. He was fighting off the two attackers.
He was
with the
beating
third
off the
hand.
attackers.
Right, exactly.
He was beating off the attack. There we go.
And none of it made sense, and now it's all unraveling. The Steve 42 on Twitter says Smollett's defense will be, "I was raising awareness." That is likely, yeah. That's probably what will end up happening. Whatever it is, I'll bet you're right. I'll bet you he escapes any type of punishment. It'll end up probably being a plea deal.
If we are dropping gun charges left and right there, so you don't think it's going to be he was mentally disturbed. He's going to spin this. It's going to be a brilliant spin on this, and you know what it's going to turn into? It's going to turn into mental health awareness. The pressure our liberal actors are going through.
Right.
You don't understand.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is going to. Somehow he is going to come out of this smelling like a rose. And it's going to be bizarre, because when you make a false police report like this, if it in fact turns out to be false, which it's looking that way, if it was anybody else, they'd be under the jail. But not in this case. It will be like you said, an example of mental health and how we have to raise awareness, and these poor actors. But this is going to go down in history as one of the best hoaxes ever perpetrated.
Well, now it's going to be a one-up game. Who could do the next one? And if you know what, this is actually kind of interesting, because Chicago's resources are spread so thin regardless. What a great way to distract from real crimes. And man, let's see who does something else next and pulls away from, we don't need to pay attention to the shootings that happen down here. I talked about this the other day. We've had an average of 4.5 people per shot per day in Chicago. But let's look at Jesse Smollett instead.
Right. Yeah, there's that website, the one with all of the Chicago stats.
HeyJackass.com.
And it is bizarre how many people are shot every second, every minute. It's got all of the stats.
But he held on to his sandwich.
It is stunning this continues. But we'll keep an eye on it for you. Stinky says, you ever try to poop with bruised ribs? Yeah. Oh, there's a poll there. Let's see. Yes or no? Huh. We'll find out how many. You got any comments coming in over there on the
What do we
Facebook?
got? I got to read these now. Now I see. I see the stress of what you dealt with. Yeah, I mean, this is not easy. This is technology.
You think that's stressful over there?
No, this chair smells delicious. By the way, I'm glad you sat here for so long.
Thank you.
It's marinated in your awesomeness.
I try.
I'm sitting here.
I give it my best.
Yeah, these are Reverend Rachel profiling. Small A is carrying around the trifecta non-accountability card: black, gay, and liberal.
Boy,
that's the truth. That is you just described a lot of Chicago, but yeah.
I think the only thing that could have been better if he had been transgender, because I think that's a step above gay. I think you are one. I think you are one more class protected if you're transgender.
I don't. Who are those people? Those are the mental health people. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we were discussing this the other day. You can either have the addictomy.
What did you say?
The addictomy. Well, that's if you're going female to female to male. Now, if you go male to female, you know what that's called.
No, what is it?
It's the poon job.
Okay, there you go.
Just like in India.
Try the veal. Tip your waiter, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday morning.
Which, by the way, Dominick Izzo will be here all week this week. So if you can't get enough of your rants of Izzo, you're getting double doses of him.
Anybody asking, no, Brad and I will not be having a comparison contest. I am going to concede, because I'm in the house of Brad today, that I am just conceding, and it will be left up to the MoJo listeners on the actual end result.
By the way, we do have video of Doc trying to write micro penis on the wall in Vegas. And so I'll tweet that out later. It is hysterical, but it ends just before the guy tackles or attempts to tackle him. But it is one of the, never in my life have I seen somebody move so quickly to try to stop somebody.
If only he did that to get out of the way of the train.
Wow, no kidding. Speaking of Doc Thompson, we've been digging through his audio archives and coming up with little bits and pieces. This is from, wow, that was a poor choice of words, wasn't it? Sorry. Of Doc from days gone by. This is back when he, again, was, I think, up at Magic with Lanigan and Malone. And a little game that they played called Name That. And this is...
now, how does this work? When they call up whoever they want to challenge, it will go back and forth, kind of like that old Name That Tune. I can answer the question in so many letters.
You have them there in each one of these categories?
Yes. So you go back and forth till somebody says, all right, fine.
Let's try one of the games and see what happens. Hi there.
Hi.
Who do you want to challenge?
Who's the sports guy?
That's Munch.
Mark Munch Bishop.
Let's just tell the guy what he wants.
Wow. Sir, what's your name?
Keith.
What's with this 3-4 letters thing? I don't...
That's letters of the answer.
What? Oh, I gotcha.
Keith, you go first. Who has played in the most professional baseball games?
Okay.
What player has played in the most professional baseball games?
Now,
How many
don't
letters?
answer. Just say how many letters you want, sir.
I can name it in 2.
Wow. Think you can do it in 1?
I got to do it in 1 then.
The letter is P.
Oh, that's exactly what I thought.
You got a pair of tickets to see.
Hold on, Jack. I get like 10 seconds. Hold on here, Jack. Yeah.
Come on,
yeah.
Come on, Jack. I think I know. I'm going to guess.
I'm not good at these games, but I should know
Why
the
did you
answer.
say 1 letter there?
Because I answered because he said 2.
Oh, I'm right.
You got it, Jack?
Yeah.
Give us your answer.
I'm out.
You want a pair of tickets to see Smokey Robinson in concert?
I'm not good at
Thursday,
games.
July 3rd. Sir, did you know the answer?
Pete Rose?
Absolutely.
Right, see, I was going to say it. That's why I asked first his last name.
I said we started.
No, that's not right. That's not right.
We have to go left to right, Munch. It's Pete
You
Rose.
always go by last name.
No, you don't.
Sure you do.
If you had said 7 letters, I would have said P-E-T-E-R-O-S.
I got you now.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm a little lost then.
All right, sir, here's what you
Pete,
won.
He won a 5 or 6 guys. It's Rose.
Let me just stop Munch for a second.
Oh, my
Here's
gosh.
what you've won.
A pair of tickets to see Smokey Robinson in concert at Scene Pavilion. You're qualified to win a set of 4 tires, including mounted and balancing, courtesy of Conrad's Total Car Care Tires.
All right, hang on.
Hit me again. Come on. I told you I didn't understand it. Go in.
We're not letting you play again.
Come on, dude. Come on, Pimp. Let's go.
All right. Back to the phone. Hi there.
Hi.
Who would you like to challenge?
I'll take Munch.
Yeah, come on. Let's rock.
What's your name, sir?
George.
George. All right, George, you're taking Munch again in sports.
What man has won the most Wimbledon titles?
Oh, shit, I don't do tennis.
What man has won the most?
Cursed on the air. He just cursed. Cut me off. frustrated.
I have never seen anybody disintegrate before my eyes like this.
Sir, what did you say?
I'll say 2.
You can do it in 2.
Oh, I got it at 1. Come on.
Okay, Munch. Who has won the most Wimbledon titles? The letter is W.
Oh, boy.
Sir, you
Will
won.
McEnroe.
Will McEnroe is absolutely wrong. Sir, you are a winner. It's William Renshaw.
Oh, man.
This is
William
like
Renshaw.
circa 1980, 1850, something like that.
Little tip for people who want to win.
But he lost 2, though. The
Go
guy
for
lost 2.
No, he won.
No, he won.
You didn't answer it.
You
But
didn't
he
get
didn't
it.
get it either.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah,
You said you'd get it
oh,
one.
this game stinks. He should win.
This is embarrassing.
Bring it. Come on, bring it.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Would you like to play?
Sure, let's see if he can strike out.
Come on, baby. Bring it. Bring it.
What's your name?
Ray.
All right, Ray, who was the first person to run a 4-minute mile?
Oh, this is easy.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me the number of letters you need.
Say about 35 because I cannot remember the name of it.
35.
Okay.
Munch, how many?
1.
Oh, mine's
Jim Ryan.
Sir, congratulations, you're a winner. It's Roger Bannister.
Jim Ryan.
If I would have went 2 letters.
If you had picked 34, I would have given you the whole name.
Now, if you said 2, can I ask for 3?
You can't go higher.
I tell you that that had to be the most fun show to work on. Lanigan and Malone at Magic in up in Cleveland. Those guys were crazy, and Doc was such a big part of that show. It's funny going back and listening to these clips because you see where so many of his bits and pieces of humor and wit came from. You see how it all started developing. And especially when we get to some of the talk radio days and some of the talk radio bits he did are just hysterical, and they still hold up today. Dude had a great sense of humor. Really did. Oh, look, MoJo 50 Radio tweeted out, Dominick Izzo joins the Daily MoJo this week. Please help us welcome him to the show.
Retweet that, reshare that, get that out there.
How does one properly welcome Izzo to the show is my question, Ron.
That's a damn good answer. I mean, a question. I don't have the answer to that yet, but I'm sure the jackholes will.
Maybe say welcome and write it down on the back of a $100 bill and send it in.
Sure, right to MoJo, the corporate officer.
Slide it. Yeah, send it in.
We'll take it on 50s. We'll slide it. Were you about to say slide it in?
I was about to say slide it across the table because I thought you were telling Izzo to write it on the back of a
right on the back of a $50 bill and slide it across the table. Would you? We got some more tweets. I'm going to make you work some more.
I am proud of Kevin John Hutchings for dropping a Johnny Bench reference in there. That's fantastic. You did very well today. That would be a parallel to an Archer reference. So I'm very pleased with that. FL Man on Twitter says, if you're manning the number 2 slot, are you speaking to me?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're manning the number 2 slot at the desk and you are texting instead of reading tweets and posts, you, from the Jackhole Nation, you are doing it wrong, ? How do you know I'm not reading your texts on my phone too as well?
Right.
Yeah, manning it.
See?
Bend over, I'll show you manning it.
They're going to work, Izzo, as much as
you
they
work
can.
it. Daddy isn't afraid. Bring it on, jackholes.
Take notes, Dominick Izzo. The real comedy is in the jackhole tweets, just according to microaggressing Doc Hole.
Oh, see, Lori F&D is already fantastic. She called in on my first night.
Yes, she did. She was almost sober. No, she wasn't.
I'll send some cookies to Rants of Izzo. Then B goes for a run across the studio. Jackholes, let me explain something to you. I am a grammar Nazi a little bit. That's the only prude that I am. I'll do anything else otherwise for $1. But man, let's work on our grammar here.
The other thing is, Brad, he needs to borrow some readers because the dude's squinting at the screen.
I know. That was the thing, and you'll notice there's one.
There are plenty of them sitting around.
There's a pair over there.
That's from me going.
Another pair under here.
Micro what?
Yeah, it's amazing how many. And Doc would never. He would never admit that he needed them. And then during every break, hey, can I use your readers? I got them all back, by the way. That one last picture I tweeted out of him that was the last picture we had of him before he went for a jog. Those were my damn readers on his face. Over in the MeWe chat room, Schism Patrick, how does I micro dick? I don't even know what that means, which means
why do you think we have all these cheaters?
Right. in the they're in rare form over there. And speaking of F and Lori D's cookies, I ate her cookies over the weekend.
I bet you did.
And they were fantastic.
What kind?
Oh, Lori D has the best cookies to eat I've ever seen. These were snickerdoodles.
Is this a euphemism or is this true?
No, these were actually cookies. They are.
Because that's not fair if you're getting certain treats from Jack Holes and I'm not yet.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you welcome Izzo aboard.
You just stick around long enough, so to speak. But she makes incredible, and she does it for a living too. So she makes incredible cookies, and they were excellent. And this week I have to get back onto some sort of a health regime. And I had a long talk with Gwen Rich and Adam Rich of the richsolution.com over the weekend. And I'm starting a program next week. And it's going to be a program of supplements, and I'm going to eat better. I've got to cut out the caramel M&Ms.
I'm sorry, I stopped listening to you when you said I better eat better.
I know.
I don't know what that is. You weren't kidding about this camera angle from this thing.
I know, right?
I'm like,
thank you.
Oh my God, this is very unflattering.
We are moving the cameras in this studio. We are going because
I'm wearing a girdle next time I come in.
It is no one looks good from a side shot ever. We're moving the table.
That's why he's out of breath. He's holding it.
It is not.
It's a horrible angle. Nobody. If you're watching the Facebook feed or the
Brad's glad he's not on that side.
Damn straight.
I wore black as slimming.
I may have pushed him in front of the train just to make sure that I didn't have to sit in that damn chair anymore.
Smart move.
But the Rich Solution, they have an entire line of supplements, and I sat there and listened to Adam talk forever about what each one did over and over. The guy, I'll give this to Adam, he can research like nobody's business. And it was like, Adam, just tell me which ones to take. You just tell me which ones to take, and I will take them. But that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to challenge the Jack Holes at this point to get on this program with me, and in the coming days I'll bring the supplements in, show you what they are, and this is designed to get you to optimal health, which God knows I need some help because I've put on a few pounds. So we're gonna get through it together. If you go to therichsolution.com, we'll get through this whole thing together, and we'll be out on the other side in much better shape. All right, coming up next, we got your headlines, and guess what? It's going to be Ron and Izzo trying to decide which one's fake. It's all coming up this morning on Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump will protect his national emergency declaration, guaranteed. That from senior presidential advisor Stephen Miller. He says the president will issue his first veto if Congress votes to overturn the declaration. Miller telling Fox News Sunday the declaration is warranted.
We have families and communities that are left unprotected and undefended. We have international narco-terrorist organizations. This is a threat in our country, not overseas, not in Belarus, not in Zimbabwe, not in Afghanistan or Syria or Iraq, but right here.
Congressional Democrats plan to introduce a resolution disapproving of the declaration. It is likely to pass Congress, with several Republican senators already indicating that they would vote against Mr. Trump, though there do not appear to be enough votes to override a presidential veto. Later today, critics of the declaration plan protests, and there are also some lawsuits in the works. Disgraced former Democratic Congressman Anthony Weiner, released from a Massachusetts federal prison. He's now back in New York City.
The once rising star in the Democratic Party was convicted of having illicit online contact with a 15-year-old North Carolina girl in 2017. He was sentenced to 21 months in a federal medical center. The Bureau of Prisons now says Anthony Weiner is in the custody of its Residential Reentry Management Office in Brooklyn, New York, with a release date in May. At the time of his sentencing, Weiner was told he'd spend 3 years on supervised release and will pay a $10,000 fine and will have to register as a sex offender. Julie Walker, New York.
President Trump travels to Miami today. He'll deliver a speech at Florida International University. Mr. Trump will demand that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro step down. The United States views National Assembly leader Juan Guaido as Venezuela's legitimate leader. More on these stories at townhall.com.
There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with wethepeople.dating. That's wethepeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out wethepeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. Wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. In the minds of many today, government is a purely secular institution and is not in any way to be joined to religious principles. The result is that too often our public policies are now enacted without any consideration of their spiritual consequences. However, the Founding Fathers believed that even a political act should always be examined from a spiritual viewpoint. For example, in his inaugural address, President George Washington declared, "We ought to be persuaded that the favorable smiles of heaven can never be expected on a nation that disregards the eternal rules of order and right which heaven itself has ordained." President George Washington believed that the blessings of heaven would reside on this nation only so long as its national policies embraced godly standards.
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact Wall Builders at 1-800-8REBUILD.
Bottom line, if you want to lose weight, go to RidUZone.com. That's RIDU Zone.com. RidUZone has helped countless people lose weight, and they can help you too by boosting your metabolism and making you feel a little bit fuller naturally. RidUZone.com.
A former Democratic National Committee member told Politico on Monday that he will become national senior advisor to the Draft Beto campaign. That sounds like a horrible beer, probably a Pilsner.
The Defenders with Stephen Airy, tonight at 9. MoJo 50. Instigators, troublemakers, freaks, agitators, fanatics, scallywags, mutants, scamps, firebrands, rogues, scoundrels, MoJo sexuals. MoJo 50.
The mothership has landed.
Oh, so many things to cover. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo, and this morning it is Brad Staggs and Dominick Izzo in here in the pilot and co-pilot chair. Things are. I was just talking to Izzo about the Jack Hole family at the funeral, and it's always strange seeing people that you don't know them by name. You know them by their Twitter handles, like Pickled Squirrel and Peaches and Whiskey Six, and meeting everybody.
What the hell is this little guy?
See,
do we let
Matlock just walked in the studio, and saw.
According to that camera, I'm not that little. Width-wise.
Hold on.
Grab a seat there, Matlock.
Let me grab a seat here.
And
turn my volume
here.
up.
There's your volume. All right, there's your volume. You got your microphone. You good? Say hello.
He's so little. I want to put him on my lap. I want to pet him a little bit.
They grow so many big things in Texas here. Jeez. Oh, but you're an Indiana farm boy anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the picture I tweeted to you this morning? That was my dude.
Let me tell you my morning.
Line of sight at the funeral was horrible.
Yeah, let me tell you about my morning. So I stayed over in Fort Wayne over the weekend and flew back out of Chicago yesterday.
I'm sorry.
So it started snowing.
Oh, did
yesterday.
It? Lucky
hard.
you.
So my flight was supposed to leave at 8:30 last night in Chicago.
Right.
Well, it left at about 10:30. So I sat on this plane with this crying baby for 2 hours, and it was so hot.
How hot was it?
Like I was sitting in hell hot.
How long were you sitting on the plane for?
2 hours before we took off.
While it was sitting on the tarmac?
Yes. Oh. And then 2 hours and 20 minutes in the air.
It wasn't Spirit, was it?
No. It was Southwest. So I flew out.
You flew out of Midway?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I know. But it was just easier. And
that
it was
the smell for 2 hours.
Bad.
And they're making those planes for midgets.
Well, and the lady in front of me had the crying baby, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, he's teething, blah, 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 blah." So inevitably what happens is as soon as the flight starts, what does the lady do? She reclines her seat into my lap. The baby's bawling in my face. She's laying in my lap, and I'm like, mother effer. And it's hot.
Yep.
And the guy next to me is Mexican, and he's saying stuff I don't even know.
Right.
And I'm like, I just want to read my book. Leave me alone.
How do you know he was Mexican?
Because he was talking in Spanish.
That doesn't mean he was Mexican.
Right, he was Hispanic.
Jeez, you racist.
I know it. So I got in last night to Love
Did
at
he have
about...
any? Did he have any burritos with him?
No.
Tacos?
No.
Oh.
Chimichangas, maybe. Maybe some of that. But
Just checking.
I rolled into my house this morning at about 2 a.m.
Oh, good for you.
Yes.
And here you are 6 hours later.
Here I am going to do a radio show I have not prepped for yet. So it'll be all right.
So it's going to sound like the usual.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It'll be a normal, the conservative cartel this morning. But
Gotcha.
I had to come in. This guy, I'll give him mad props. I saw his car at the parking lot. He has good taste.
Oh, you like my Acura?
That's what I drive.
That's my baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Really?
Yes. It's the old man car.
We drive the same car.
Yes.
Do you really?
That's insanely crazy.
Are they both black?
Well,
I got
his
dark
is-
gray.
Yeah.
Is yours black?
Yeah, mine's.
That's
I'm racist.
unforgiving. Oh, no,
Yeah,
I had to go.
I'm racist toward my Acuras.
Well, I wanted the typical Dago black Cadillac.
Yes.
But then I found the Acura, and I was ooh.
You get fewer tickets with those dark colors.
True.
I've
Not
always
in
had
Chicago.
Really, you get ticketed with
We're talking
that?
about cars or people?
Cars. Okay. I've always had a dark gray or a black vehicle, and very rarely, now that I've said that.
Racist.
No, they blend in with the road. They blend in with the road so much better.
Oh, funny. So did Doc.
That's what I've heard.
See, there's.
All right. Well, I had to come in and say, hey,
Thank you.
now I'm in the middle of headlines and all this stuff, but hi, Jack Holes.
There you go. With that, I think we should just go ahead and get underway with the headlines.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
All right, Jack Holes, your headlines are brought to you by APR Coffee, which happens to be what I'm drinking. This is the test batch of conservative cartel something. It's good, whatever it is. Your headlines, as always, from this day forward, until I decide to change them, will be 10 stories, and one of these 10 stories is not real. It is your job to figure out which one. We start in Waterville, Maine. Police say a man who had just robbed a bank ran across 4 lanes of traffic and a restaurant parking lot before slipping on ice and dropping his gun and the money in front of a state police special agent. Waterville Police Chief Joseph Massey tells the Morning Sentinel there, a gust of wind swept through the money and blew it across the entire parking lot while the man was apprehended on Tuesday. The special agent had no idea a bank had just been robbed, but he was suspicious enough to get out of his car and tackle the man. Moving on to Phoenix, Arizona, thousands of dollars, another money story, found inside a donated book has been returned to the former owner. Television station there reports that volunteer Kathy McAllister was sorting books for a charity book sale in Phoenix last weekend when she found $4,000 in a chamber cut inside The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. The station said she initially thought the $100 bills were Monopoly money. This is something that would never happen to me.
Exactly, because I'd be out there scraping it up, running off. Izzo, do you have to turn that in, right?
I don't. What money? What money?
Here's how honest.
What money?
That's what I'd say. I hate having a conscience. When we were going through my father-in-law stuff, he was a squirrel when it came to money. He used to drill holes in the closet, inside the trim in a closet, roll up $100 bills and stuff.
That's that old people thing. It's like hide them. They didn't hide the money in the
Matt's
mattresses.
granddad buried money out in the yard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a
same thing
from that generation, like at least the World War II generation. They wound up packing money away in like slots of or the slats of the floorboards, mattresses, all that stuff. Yes, it is a treasure trove to find that stuff.
I found
old people dying
$10,000.
is good.
$10,000 in a false ceiling once.
Did you really?
Yeah, I turned it in. I turned it in.
You dumbass! What'd you do that for?
Well, I told you I just turned in 10,000, right?
Oh, there you go.
Gotcha. You found all 10,000. Every penny of that 10,000 that I found in the ceiling. I found $4,000, but after everything was said and done, there was $4,000 that my father-in-law had stashed away, and I gave it all to the ex-wife. That's how honest I am.
See, it's things like this that I appreciate guys like you who have been married before that remind me never to do this ever.
You ever been married?
No, not going to happen.
You heard the story about the guy who goes to the doctor and doctor does a physical and says, "Man, I got some bad news. You have a horrible, horrible disease. It's going to eat away at your insides, and you've got 6 months to live." And the guy says, "Well, what do I do?" Doctor says, "I recommend getting married and moving to Des Moines. It'll feel like a lifetime." Hey-o. Thank you. In Swahita, Arizona. See, you laugh there at those at that point, and that will fill that empty, awkward silence there.
Yeah. No, we like that.
Ron, who invited Izzo in this morning? I don't know what in the hell. Who thought this was a good idea? 2 camels in, moving on, that, by the way, was not one of the stories. 2 camels in southern Arizona are back home after going for an impromptu trek in the desert. Pima County Sheriff's officials said authorities on Tuesday found the owners of the runaway camels. Deputies were called to a residence in the town of Swahita on Monday and found the camels roaming a front yard.
What state was it in?
Arizona.
Camels in Arizona.
Camels in Arizona.
They're called Hispanics down there.
Those are coyotes.
Oh, okay.
Deputies say it's not unusual to get calls from time to time about livestock on the loose, but camels are a first. Another strange story about lost. There's that too.
Hump.
In Jeffersonville, Indiana, a purse containing a prom invitation, photos, and other items from 1950s America will be returned to its now 82-year-old owner after workers found it while demolishing part of an Indiana high school. Martha Everett lost the black stitch purse more than 6 decades ago. Workers say they found it in January behind a science classroom cabinet in the old Jeffersonville High School where she was a senior in 1955. Damn, did they never sweep that floor?
What does she need it for? She's almost dead.
Right. No kidding. Greater Clark County school spokeswoman Erin Bonjavowicz says the district was able to track Everett thanks to the power of social media after one of her relatives saw a Facebook post.
She's on Facebook?
Apparently so.
Jeez.
Or maybe, I guess, her relatives were.
No, that old lady's getting around.
There you go. See, the contents included a wallet, a letter inviting her to the prom,
pack of condoms,
lipstick, photos, and juicy fruit gum wrappers.
Random. Wash the taste out of your mouth afterwards.
Random fact. A small amount of stress helps you to remember things better, but a large amount may hinder your memory.
That's why I'm quiet this morning. Right there.
You'll be fine.
I know.
Moving on to Boston, Massachusetts, 3 members of the so-called Irish Mob Midgets, a Boston-based criminal organization composed of people of short stature.
Shut up, Jack Coles. I'm Italian, not Irish.
Have been arrested this morning. This is actually last week, according to the Boston Chronicle. Security camera footage shows the 3 suspects during a home break-in in which the intruders entered the house through the pet door. Authorities also believe the crime organization could be behind 55 other similar break-ins in the region. The Irish Mob Midgets officially described themselves as a non-profit motorcycle enthusiast group for small people of the Boston area. Really like a
what
robbing Peter to pay Paul.
What are these 3-foot people riding motorcycles?
They have to ride trikes.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can't even get on that.
Or little scooters, like they were doing out at the shot show.
Little scooters.
Moving on, 18-year-old Ebony Stevenson went to bed with a bad headache. She fell into a coma and woke up 4 days later to find out she had unexpectedly given birth to a surprise baby. She says she had no idea she was pregnant as she didn't have a bump, hadn't missed a period, or experienced morning sickness. But after feeling unwell and going to bed on the night of December 2nd, she woke up 4 days later in the hospital and was told she was now a mom.
That's not a shock to the system at all, is it?
That's weird.
That happened to me once.
Why are you sitting? You should be the richest man in America.
No joke.
Well,
or in the world.
I'm working on it. I got to sell the rights first, that story.
Although these days, it's not unusual for a guy to get pregnant.
No, there you go. So you got to assume gender.
Really,
you're assuming gender.
Right.
You're assuming I'm not able to capable. If anything women can do, I can do better.
So the strange part of the story is just the fact that they fell asleep and woke up a mother. The doctors say
I was just kind of hoping to fall asleep and get some, but it didn't happen.
Those are the drunk girl at party videos.
Can't rape the willing, ladies.
Right. They said the doctor said that this girl had a condition called uterus didelphismosis, meaning she has two uteruses, one of which contains...
I was in another band called Two Uteruses.
They call those...
Weird tribute to Barry Manilow.
They call those uteri.
Yeah.
Do they? Thank you, doctor. 2 uteri. Nearly 1/5. Moving on, by the way.
We had 1 gig and we're canceled immediately.
You were aborted. Nearly 1/5 of people who live in the western United States say pineapple is one of their favorite pizza toppings.
It does adjust the taste.
According to new data from YouGov Omnibus, 12% of Americans who eat pizza say that pineapple is one of their top 3 favorite pizza toppings. People who live in the West, which notably includes Hawaii, home of the ham and pineapple Hawaiian pizza, particularly 17% of them say that pineapple is one of their favorite pizza topping.
Pineapple, Brad, or no?
Yes.
I'm a pineapple guy, dude.
Absolutely.
I love it. But there are some people out there who...
Doc.
Who, no,
you can't do that. You don't mix the sweet and sour.
That's sacrilegious to the pizza.
No. Pineapple
No.
belongs on pizza, especially when there is when there's ham involved.
Yes.
Even if it is Canadian. A. Moving on to Pinellas County in Florida, a man damaged a strip club in Clearwater when he took a hatchet to the business after being kicked out of the establishment for not paying his tab. You say William Roy, he's 35. He was arrested for petty theft. It says petite theft. I think they mean petty theft.
Is it? Where was it? What state was that one out
It's
of?
in Florida.
No, it depends on where in Florida. I doubt any of those strippers are petite.
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah. I got kicked out of
some big girls.
Actually, I didn't get kicked out of a strip club. I got kicked at a strip club.
My first experience at a strip club, I didn't know the phrase, "Is this okay?" meant that they were going to continue the dance.
Right.
So I'm like 23 years old, and apparently after me sitting in the back room for 40 minutes, my buddy comes back and he goes, "You're still here?" I'm like, "Yeah." She just asked me if it's okay. She tells me, "That's $300, sweetie." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So for those of you listening, is that okay? Or is this okay? Means
get up and get out?
Yes. Yes.
Quickly.
Yes.
Yes.
Quite quickly.
I really thought she liked me too. I really thought she liked me.
I'm the one she's really gonna.
Yes.
I'm different.
Yes.
She really wants me
She
to go home with her.
understands me.
It's every man in America at some point has thought that. It's craziness. No, I was sitting there at the table and I complimented the girl dance. My younger years when they gave a crap. Complimented the girl dancing, and she thought I had said something ugly, and she reached out with those heels and got me right there. Ouch, that hurt.
She left a scar like no other.
And I thought, I should complain, but no, they would just kick me out.
Did you stay?
I ended up just walking away,
limping away
in shame. The walk of shame. Alex Skeel, 23-year-old, was told what clothes to wear, isolated from his friends and family, and banned from sleeping in the same bed as the mother of his children, Jordan Worth. She also threw boiling water over him and injured him with knives during their relationship, which began when they were both 16. Worth was the first woman in the United Kingdom to be convicted of coercive and controlling behavior and was jailed for 7.5 years last year.
Do you ask again why I will never get married?
Alex, the guy from Bedford, has since opened up about his ordeal in a new BBC documentary called Abused by My Girlfriend.
Ooh. Yeah. BBC and Abused by My Girlfriend. Those are a couple of my favorite titles.
I'm telling you. It could be fun if you play
categories,
it right.
if you will. Categories.
Right? In Newark, Delaware, a man's nap in the back of his car turned into a nightmare after the car he was sleeping in was stolen and crashed. Musician Justin Corners told the News Journal that he had spent a night playing music with friends. He went to sleep in his vehicle and had a dream involving somebody jumping in the front seat. He woke up and found out it was not a dream. They had actually stolen the car with him in it. He says police appeared ready to take him away before another officer said a neighbor had security footage of the incident. So those are your 10 stories.
Fantastic.
Oh, napping in the car, abusive girlfriend. We have the hatchet in the strip club, the pineapple on pizza, the pregnant teenager coma, midget bank robbers, the 1950s purse, the camels, the donated book money, and the clumsy man robbing a bank.
All right, here's mine.
Well, we're going to get to your guess in a second after we talk about APR coffee because
DM, I love DM.
I had a great conversation with DM up there in Ohio.
DM and his lovely wife were there.
Yeah. Yes, they were, and they were talking about and all of his coffee is homemade. I mean that it is truly niche coffee that if you deem yourself worthy, you can go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com and find the different coffee brands there. The latest, see here. Yeah, which one? Oh, the Doc Thompson's Uranus Hertz.
Where?
It's
where?
Is that what Izzo's drinking? Is Uranus Hertz?
This is actually the Conservative Cartel test batch.
Just relax. You have to relax a little bit more.
It's then you have Peahat Matt's Peppermint Mocha. Are those? Yeah, those are still available because they're on the website. The Blueberry Donut Hole, the Burr Hamilton, and then where's the?
That's the one that's mine.
Yeah, where's the Ron?
The Sexual Chocolate.
That's still.
It's a raspberry chocolate blend. It's actually pretty good, but we like the 60% because that's 60% raspberry, so it's not overwhelming, right?
Well, that's the thing about American Pride Roasters coffee is that when you get this hint. It's not like this overpowering. If it's got the sexual chocolate, it's not this overpowering. Wow, I'm eating chocolate with a vague taste of coffee in it.
I'm still hung up on Doc's anus. Is that what you said? Seriously?
It's Uranus hurts.
Uranus hurts.
It's something completely different. But that's the beauty of APR coffee, is that you never know what you're going to get. But if you go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com, you will find all of the amazing blends. And actually, he gave me some advice. DM gave me some great advice on a coffee press, because I actually like to drink it cold.
Oh, you're a coffee snob.
When I drink hot coffee, it has a tendency to upset my stomach.
No, I respect it, but you went coffee press, though, so you went the way you're making it. You're like, hi, I'm Brad Staggs. I've got to make my coffee this way.
Well, you're that guy. Well, then you have to let it sit for 12, 13 hours.
He sounded just like you there for a
Hey,
second.
Napping Gator, you get it. Thank you.
Him.
Napping Gator on Twitter gets it. Real Brad Staggs, you got to warn me next time. I turned on the video feed and saw Rants of Izzo for the first time. I figured he's a big dude, but he's a nightmarishly big. Remind me not to piss him off. That's right. I need all the street credit I can get. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Whatever it takes. All right, go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com. So what say you? Which story was fake? Ron, you first.
1950s purse.
You think 1950s purse was the fake story? Izzo, what say you?
Midgets. Midgets are fake. They're not even real people.
The midget story is the fake story.
That's right. Be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
It was the woman's last name for the purse that I thought gave it away.
They would never enter through the pet door. Far too much pride. It is Monday, February 18th, 2019. There are 623 days until election 2020. Dr. Dre is 53 today. John Travolta is 64.
His hairline is 94.
He finally came out and with the bald head. He's a really
what though? But he still gets to sleep next to that Kelly. What's her name every night? Oh my God,
she is hot.
That was some hot. 80s fapping material. Oh man,
Vanna White is 61.
There's another one.
She's 61.
I remember
now.
being a kid when the Playboy came out. When she was in it,
she was in Playboy.
Oh my God, it was huge.
Wait, which part was huge?
Yeah.
And Jeremy Allen White is 27.
You know, Pat Sajak is a huge conservative.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's follow him on Twitter.
I do.
His tweets are hysterical. And at a funeral, we had a mutual friend, Dan Miller, in Nashville, and at the funeral, Pat Sajak gave the eulogy and was
Pat Sajak. At the mutual friend.
Miller, at Dan Miller's funeral in Nashville, and it was hysterical, the things he came up with.
He's dry. I never appreciated him until lately.
Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't appreciate Dry until you've appreciated Pat Sajak.
Or Vanna White today.
Hey-o. In 1885, on this date, Mark Twain published the Adventures of Huck Finn. 1930, it was Pluto was discovered. And by the way, the music should still be up at this point, but that's all right.
Huck Finn should be
And in 1959, it was this song. Let's see here. Hang on.
Are vegans healthy?
It was all of, never mind. Oh, wait, here it comes.
That's what she said.
It's this one.
Ray Charles.
This song was published in 1959. I love this. What I Say. And this is the long version, by the way, so this is about the time that Facebook will mute us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're watching the replay on Facebook,
I don't know. Sometimes if we talk over it a little bit.
Facebook had me on at 20 minutes in or something. They muted us a long time ago.
I'm playing the organ round. Here we go.
Here we go. We have the library. Great song. Hey, let's talk about guns.
We like guns.
We do like guns.
We really like guns.
What is your favorite?
I am a fan of the SIG Sauer P229 357 caliber. 357 SIG round, excuse me.
That is, let's see, was it the 220? Or is it, there's a SIG Sauer 228, right?
I believe so, and 227. Am I right?
That was what Fox Mulder carried on the X-Files.
Oh, was he really?
That was his backup gun.
Yeah, he's another one. He's a sex addict in real life.
He's a sex addict,
and he's married to Tay Leone from Bad Boys, who is again, Daddy Likes.
Yeah, that's that whole thing is bizarre. I just wish they'd all shut their mouth about politics. That's just saying.
Open up for something else.
TRA Guns, exactly. TRAGuns.com. When you are in the market for a gun, this is the place to go. It is America's most convenient gun store, and you'll find Sig Sauers there. You'll find Smith & Wesson. I meant to bring in that Smith & Wesson 38.
The little pea shooter is what you wanted to bring in.
No, that one, and my 38, because we need to go shooting.
That is a good-looking gun. That is a good-looking gun.
You will, and I bought this in 85, my Smith & Wesson, from an LA Reserve cop who is now, he works at he's a chief engineer out in LA now.
Smart move.
Yeah, he actually decided to make some money. But this gun, we bought it, I think, for my buddy and I bought it for $500 in 85, and it's worth like $600 now. Guns are a great investment.
So we're going to wind up. Sounds like running.
We're going to what, Ron?
Sorry, I was having a conversation. I
They were
apologize.
planning,
The more the merrier.
lynching of me this morning.
The more the merrier. Now we'll go shooting this week, and this gun is so amazingly accurate. It is.
Am I going to look like that? What was it? Police Academy, the little guy with the glasses who was shooting the gun that goes flying back. Oh, the 357 Magnum's got a powerful kick, Tackleberry. Yeah.
It's and I've got some of the Bond Arms guns as well. The bottom line is this: if you're looking for a gun, take a look at traguns.com. First of all, you can see all of the guns in high def photos, and a lot of them in the 360 degree view.
You know, I'm looking around 365 degrees here. I don't see an AR. Well, they must be, Tar River Arms must be sending that to me in Chicago.
You know, I think that Matt Locke has the latest on that, doesn't he? Didn't Matt say he was going to?
Yeah, it was supposed to be being picked up, but I don't know if it's been delivered.
I can pick it up. That's fine. Just you tell me where to take it, and I'll get it.
We ended up being a little distracted in the past couple of weeks for some reason. I'm not sure what was it. We were focused on something.
You don't need the added stress of an extra AR. You don't need it.
Of course not. But we want to put it up here in the studio with behind the glass, and
we can all pose nude with it. Oh,
see?
Rub the gun oil all over.
You fit right in.
That's what she said.
Scary. It's frightening. Oh, there goes my phone. More to come.
You lost it up there too?
I did. So you just got me all hot with it, rubbing the oil. It's just, wow. This is your Daily Mojo.
A mojo for every state. MoJo 50.
President Trump signed a sweeping spending bill on Friday to avert another government shutdown while at the same time declaring a national emergency at the border. While many argue that national emergencies have been declared in the past by presidents, Trump's national emergency declaration brings with it the additional issue of whether a president can reallocate funds already assigned by Congress for a particular purpose. The liberal left is already objecting to the declaration of a national emergency by the filing of a lawsuit on Friday, with more lawsuits promised to come in the near future. Daniel Horowitz, senior editor of a conservative news organization, argued that, quote, no judge has jurisdiction to erase our borders, and many others, including the ACLU, don't have standing to bring a lawsuit against Trump's emergency declaration. Not according to some judges. Case in point, an Obama-appointed federal judge in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California recently ruled that Trump's order requiring those seeking asylum to enter at a port of entry could be temporarily enjoined. Horowitz argued that the judge, quote, has no jurisdiction over immigration, has no jurisdiction over national security, has no jurisdiction over the border, violated endless settled law, violated Article 2 powers, violated Article 1 delegated authority, and broke every sane ruling on Article 3 standing that differentiates a court from a legislature. If nothing else, the ruling by the judge is an indication that at least some judges will be willing to grant plaintiffs standing and declare their own authority to hear cases regarding Trump's national emergency declaration, eventually forcing him to defend his executive authority before the U.S. Supreme Court. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out wethepeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out wethepeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, this is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. It's Brad Staggs right here, and Dominick Izzo on that side. The tweets and the comments keep coming in.
Whatchamacallit says, "Oh wow, Rants of Izzo posing nude with gun oil." You guys have
pretty hot.
You act like this is a shocker.
I don't see a problem with that.
No, I want to have the ones where I'm going to be standing there and I want your hand covering where the fig leaf should.
I have large hands.
That's right. You're going to need it.
It could work. I want to. We continue. The great thing about having a death in the family is everyone sends you gifts. I'm telling you, we've got caramel M&Ms and Alyssa Milano cookies and
cakes and chocolate fudge. Yeah.
And at the funeral, Roz,
ton of liquor.
Oh, we've got enough liquor to supply us for the next 3 days.
Exactly.
Or 6 months, whichever comes first. And Roz at the funeral kept coming by and slipping caramel M&Ms in my pocket.
Oh, that's funny.
I think she just wanted to put her hand in my pocket. I was good with that. I wanted to open up this. This is from.
Don't cut yourself. Be careful.
I know,
We got a lot of great comments, by the way, while you're getting that. It says, someone get Izzo a step stool so he can get in the chair.
You sons of...
Or a booster seat so he can reach the mic. And then Susan says, is that a high chair Rance of Izzo is sitting?
I have feelings too. I have feelings too.
Yeah,
well, it's not my fault. I walk in the studio and I got these Amazon men here. I'm 5'7", and he got like, hey, Izzo, you're here. No, we're up here. We're up here.
And you want to see how big Matlock is compared to anybody? Just look at the picture I tweeted of him in front of me at the funeral.
Dude, you could show a movie on his back.
I know.
I saw that, and I'm like, that's me laying sideways.
The guy is a monster. This is from Zaya.
It's cylinder in its packaging.
If this thing takes batteries, I'm a little scared.
No, it sloshes. I shook it. I know it's
Zaromaya.
Okay.
Z Pacific Online. I don't know. I guess it's either the person that sent it or this is the company. But good grief, this thing is
that's like a styrofoam cylinder, isn't it?
Fort Knox getting into this one.
While you're opening that, real briefly, this is a good point. Common Sense Train Reform Sleeve asks, my question to us is that what if the next president and Dem is a Dem and they declare a national emergency by coming to grab our guns? That's not going to happen because it's in the Constitution. Real briefly, that's it. Hold on, just want to answer that.
Yeah,
it's a constitutional issue.
But the fact of the matter is, the declaring a national emergency, bad idea. Yeah. Bad idea, because then everybody's going to,
What you got, Bradley?
Basil Hayden's Dark Rye.
Oh, Basil
a
Hayden.
rye. That would be a rye whiskey, right? I am not up on my.
We can.
No, Matt probably would know the answer. Chef Patrick would.
Okay, this is Basil Hayden's Dark Rye, and this is There's not a. Is there a card in here? I want to make sure I give proper credit where credit is due, and there's something in here. It says. To the MoJo crew, Doc is greatly missed, and without him, the world is emptier. Something, please enjoy. Oh, it's an emptier place. Please enjoy. L. So, Lev, Old Town Tequila.
Did someone say Basil Hayden?
Basil Hayden, yeah.
That scared the crap out of me.
I know.
You know who sent that again, right? It's Raider.
Is this Raider?
Yeah, he told us he was sending that. Yeah, I mean, this dude has stocked us full of booze.
Oh, look back there behind the couch. You see all of that. 1, 2, 3, 4 bottles. One of the bottles up there on the shelf.
All those bottles seem a little bit empty.
Oh, you're not done yet?
Oh, look to your left over here on those shelves.
Holy God.
So, you know, the funny thing is, all of this came about because the day after Doc died, Brad and I finished the #1 tequila.
Yes.
Which we had a $90 bottle of tequila in here that if you have not had #1 tequila, you should drink.
Yeah, okay. It's not #1, it's number Juan.
Number Juan. But it's literally tequila that sits in a bourbon barrel to finish for 5 to 7 years. It tastes like bourbon without the rye after finish. It's scary. So on the air, we said, hey, we're out of tequila. Raider sent us booze.
Took care of that for you.
Surprise.
Surprise.
That Basil Hayden's really nice. That's probably the anniversary bottle, it looks like.
Is it? How much can we get for this on eBay?
Dude, we're drinking that stuff. Forget selling it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And it says Lev, the card from. So is that Raider?
No, that is not Raider.
Okay,
Lev sent that.
Lev.
Yeah, Lev's one of the MeWe peeps, too.
Okay.
So thank you, Lev. I thought Raider sent that, but Raider sent us all kinds of booze. So thank you, both of you.
I mean, it's seriously, this is like, and the other thing that the Jackholes have started, when it's their birthday, they send us gifts. So
you got them trained.
Deaths and birthdays are apparently a very good thing for us here at MoJo 50.
And both of our birthdays are coming up.
In March.
Yes.
So Just saying. Just saying. In between.
Oh, B from the SAV. Thank you. Leave Izzo alone. That's right. Thank you.
We'll get him a step stool.
There you go.
It'll be fine.
It's not wrong.
Whatchamacallit says, I'd put my hand in your pocket.
Yeah, hey, $5. $5. Guess what's in my pants?
There used to be a guy in L.A. who did a takeoff on Mr. Rogers called Mr. Dodger, and that was his whole, hey, can I put my hand in your pocket? Yes, absolutely. Not a problem. A World War II Purple Heart recipient just turned 100 years old in Georgia.
Why would you want? I appreciate these people. Number one, the World War II vets, greatest generation ever. I appreciate the people who can live on this planet this long. Why would you want to? Why?
Remember what Sam Kinison used to say: when it hurts to pee and you start to stink, it's time to go. But apparently, for Edward Murphy, he says to him, it's just a number. He says he was about to be deployed with the Army's 29th Infantry Division in Germany in 1944. He placed a photo of the Virgin Mary in his helmet. His mother was a devout Catholic who had dedicated herself to Mary. He said one night in battle, they were coming up against the enemy. He said it was foggy. They couldn't see. His daughter, this is the story his daughter was recounting to the paper, but above on the hill was the enemy with machine guns. All of a sudden, all of his buddies went down, including his dad. He says his helmet came off.
Wait, I'm sorry. Go back up a second. He definitely was a different era.
Yes, he was.
Because if that was today, all of his buddies went down. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. He said his helmet came off. He looked up, and the picture he saw in the helmet was the Blessed Mother. From that day forward, he was devoted to her always. His devotion has never wavered. 100. Whenever I have problems, he says, I prayed. I'm satisfied to get to be 100.
I'm going to verify what you were talking about earlier, too, by the Catholics, by the way, because I am firstborn Roman Italian Catholic son. They're crazy.
It's
crazy. It is the whole bow, genuflect, kneel, go to church. They started redoing that whole thing in the last couple of years. You're 100% accurate.
It's I have to tell you, the weird thing too is, and I've been to a couple of Catholic funerals, and the weird thing to me is the whole, if you are Catholic, you can take part in communion.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not,
so
that just
always.
always.
No, it's because the Catholic Church wants to make themselves the authority over. And I'm not insulting any Catholic out there. If you guys are Catholic, hey, great, do what it is. It has changed over the last 50 years. I went to Catholic grammar school. I wanted to be a priest until I was 15, and then I discovered these things called women. Yeah, the Catholic Church wants to make themselves an authority over the Bible, and that's our new liberal pope. I'm not a big fan of.
It's just odd to me because I'm a person of faith, not what you would call a religious person. But when you, and I've always said, if the Catholics are right, then the Jews and the Muslims are screwed. And if the Muslims are right, then the Jews and the Catholics and the Christians are screwed. It's all. Can we not all, as George Burns said in "Oh God" in the mid-'70s, treat each other well? Read a good book. Be good to yourself. Don't be a jerk. Rule number 1. Just saying.
I'm okay with that. Just I got my views. Don't force them down your throat.
Exactly.
There's some other things I may do.
That's a totally different story. All right, so we've said this in the past. Before I forget, everybody's giving gifts. I must give you the gift, the welcome gift to MoJo. Now that seems like a tiny, tiny little flashlight that you hold there in your hand.
Is it like synonymous with something else?
It is not a micro flashlight. Okay. I will tell you that. 65-foot range. That shares another comparison to my range. That is the Coast. Is that the G19? Oh, wow. It is a tiny little pen light. And here, don't cut. That is not tiny. That I take that flashlight with me wherever I go. Okay. That is the most amazing. If in small quarters, that flashlight will light up your world. I am all about tactical stuff, so thank you. And it's I give those as gifts to friends and to people of distinction, and to you as well. Thank you. And to you as well. Thanks. To make an exception. But I just wanted to, it's kind of a welcome here. Welcome to MoJo. We're going to give you a very small object that is going to be. It has a liner lock in it. To close that knife. Yeah, on the inside. Okay, there you go. Thank you. That's a very sharp knife as well. I just felt it. Thank you. Didn't think you'd notice. But that is a very cool little flashlight. It's just a little small token of our appreciation. You keep using that word small. Small. I just, little, small. This is ridiculous. Little things come in good packages. That's what they say. So as you open that, we've been discussing the new slogan that we need to find for MoJo 50. Something that And look at the little tight
tight
little beam, huh?
I was in a band called Tight Little Beam.
Shine that right there on your computer and just look at how perfectly round it is. Isn't that nice? It's round and nice. It fits in your pocket.
Gonna have some intimate time later on with this.
Pull that thing out anytime you need it and use it wherever you want to.
I could have used this with my last ex. Found my watch again. I lost it.
So we needed a slogan that kind of tells everybody what we are in a word or in a 5 words or less. So we've when you tweet about it, use the hashtag MoJo50 slogan, and we're still brainstorming over this thing, but I came up with a few that I thought would be appropriate. First of all, there's MoJo50, think small. There's MoJo50, there is no substitute. I think that's a good one. MoJo50, just do it. MoJo50, the miracles of science. I like that one too. I like this. MoJo50, share moments, share life. How about MoJo50, stronger than dirt? Another one of my favorites, MoJo50, finger looking good.
Why do these all sound familiar?
I didn't know these. I came up with these. I think that these are these are original. I think that that's it kind of gives you an idea.
Finger licking. Oh.
MoJo50, have it your way.
Are you sure about this?
MoJo50, I'm loving it.
You sure about this?
It took me
Did
a while.
Come to you while you're driving and passing billboards or something?
It took me a while to come up with these, but as I sat down and started writing some down, I may have been divinely inspired. MoJo50, you can't beat the real thing. Have a MoJo50 and a smile.
I don't want to rain on your parade, but okay.
MoJo50 melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
Do we have a legal team that you may want to check with those?
Well, we do have a legal team. It's I don't think they're in just yet, but when they get in, I think that we can probably.
Al, that's why I didn't sign the waiver yet.
Exactly.
I walk in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When
HR has to have a meeting with me later on today.
When you get the paperwork,
right?
I'm just saying you might want to read the.
I'm down here for the 40-hour sexual harassment class.
I have a friend I had one. He's dead too. In Knoxville, he was our floor director, and he was just he had a mouth like a sailor. Stanley was his name, and the best floor director. He was fabulous, but he was edgy to say the least. I mean, he would come up and he'd plant a kiss on you.
Oh.
And he, one day, I think Beth was producing over there at the time, and he planted a kiss on her, stuck his tongue in her mouth. He was just, I love Stanley.
These are the days well before sensitivity training.
Love him to death.
But you know my view on sensitivity training, bring me in a room, drop my pants, and tickle me. And go, ooh, sensitive.
They decided they were going to give sensitivity and diversity training at HGTV and DIY. And so Stanley was the first one. He was in the first round of guys to go in there. And as he left, there was a test at the end of it. He came out and he gave his brothers the answers to the test. So they all scored 100.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was.
Men have to stick together in that kind of stuff. Well, some men do stick together. Boys Town in Chicago.
Little hot water gets them unstuck.
It doesn't make the smell go away.
No, it really doesn't. Speaking of smell, let's move on, shall we? Joe Biden told Europe rather, that America is an embarrassment. This was an interesting move on Joe Biden's part. He was talking at a speech. The delegates at NATO Munich Security Conference. This was Saturday. He suggested the United States had abandoned its bedrock principles and its commitments to Europe. And this is the thing. It used to be that even as a retired U.S. politician, you didn't go out and diss.
Joe Biden, you're talking about the same guy who instigated and started the steroid baseball scandal, right? So the guy who decided to sit there and say, okay, we're going to take America's pastime and we're going to waste taxpayer dollars and put a committee together to investigate hormones in a pastime. Yeah, Biden, he should have been hit by that train he takes every day.
He was interesting. He had this to say about
I see values basic human decency not snatching children from their parents or turning our back on refugees at our border. Americans know that's not right. The American people understand, please, because it makes us embarrassing.
All right.
I'm sorry. What does he care? This is going to be the same people who are going to be coming over our border. He wants these people to come over because he's Kid Toucher Joe. He wants to bring them. Hey, bro, you could bring me a 12-year-old Hispanic girl? Please do. Ooh, he's drooling at this.
It's so strange, his phrasing, too. And hey, let's hear this again. He says,
the American people understand, please, because it makes us embarrassing. The American people know.
It makes us
overwhelmingly.
It makes us embarrassing.
I hope. Is he going to run? Did he announce a candidacy?
He hasn't yet, but it would not surprise me.
This is going to be the greatest presidential run in the history because the Dems are going to eat each other alive. So if they're all attacking Trump now, they all got to attack each other to vie for that position to run against him. I can't wait to see this this crap show.
What
I can't wait to see it.
What if it is Biden and Beto?
Who's the big spoon?
I think they have a shot if Biden teams up with Beto O'Rourke.
There is part of me. I'm going to tell you, there is part of me, and I do go to TarRiverArms.com. I do want the world. You know what? Be careful what you wish for. You know what? Let them win. Get in office. Go ahead. Because when the Dems take over and this place goes to just complete crap, I'm willing to hold up Fort Izzo and just let everybody else go to hell. Let the world go to crap. I don't care.
Actually, and if a Democrat does get elected, it will be very good for companies like Tar River Arms. Yep. It'll be good for companies like My Patriot Supply. It will be good because people will start worrying again. That's always what happens. But with a ticket of Biden and Beto, remember we're talking about a 1 or 2% swing in the middle ground, and that's where all the elections have been decided in modern day politics. Is that little 1 or 2? We're pretty evenly divided in this country, right down the middle.
They keep talking about, but these Democrats on this side are going to sway the independents to vote for Trump. Every person out there seems to keep talking, or who's relatively conservative, keeps thanking these Dems for re-securing Trump's second victory.
But the problem with people like Joe Biden, when they go to a foreign
besides
country,
the fact he's a kid toucher?
No, that too. Oh, creepy Uncle Joe.
No,
doesn't everybody have a creepy Uncle Joe? Remember, you have to speak with a slight Indian accent to own a 7-Eleven. What happened to the decorum of not speaking ill?
No, that's the thing.
Of
badmouth America.
Yeah, and it
that makes
really,
you a better representative.
It was really started by Obama.
Now you are slightly older than me, just a tad.
A smidge.
I don't know. Do you ever recall a president? Now, the first one I remember was Jimmy Carter. I remember seeing a caricature of him on Time magazine with his big teeth.
Mm-hmm.
In the entire time I've been on this planet, which is not that long, I don't remember a president ever saying he loved America like Trump does.
Right.
What that does, and the polarizing opposite of it is it's starting to show all the presidential candidates and candidates for any position that they hate America. Hating America now is a good thing, according to the left. They like it.
Ronald Reagan, he spoke very highly of the country. He said good things. It hasn't been until lately that, and even Carter kept his mouth shut for decades. And it wasn't it during Obama's presidency that he spoke up about anything?
He's another anti-American.
And I just don't understand that, especially, I mean, remember when the Dixie Chicks.
Oh my God, they got on stage, they badmouthed Bush. Yes.
And boy, did they pay for it.
I don't remember where the career went to.
Right down the toilet.
Yep.
And apparently that was the end of the time period when it was bad to speak ill of your country outside of your country, because now it just seems to be what the politicians do. It's cool, it's hip to be anti-American when you're outside the country, which
be careful what you wish for. That's all I got to say. You know what? Leave the border open. Let the criminal element come through. You know what? When it's knocking on your door, because it's going to, you know what? The rest of Americans are going to sit back and go, hey, you guys deal with it. Go ahead, deal with it.
If we're such a crap hole, why does everybody want to come here?
They don't go anywhere else. You don't see a fleet of people going, I think I'm going to. How many have threatened over the last, let's just say, since Bush? I'm going to go to Canada. No one has done it yet. Not one celebrity.
Barbara Streisand.
I am admittingly vocal versus politics. I am a straight male. I am a huge Barbara Streisand fan. One of the greatest female voices in the history of the world. I cannot stand her politics. I'm so disappointed in her, Celine Dion, all of them.
It's too bad that they open their mouth.
No homo.
I love ABBA.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
I
They're
love
fantastic. They were good to look at too in the 70s.
Doc and I actually went to a musical together. Watched. We didn't know P.T. Barnum, The Greatest Show.
Yeah.
Greatest Showman was a musical.
And did you guys hold hands during that?
We sat next to each other, shared popcorn.
Was it empty? Here's what I want to know.
It was,
empty theater. The only two guys in there. Seat space in between or side by side?
No, we were side by side.
That's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. See,
Yeah.
that's not gay. That's brotherhood.
I may have shed a tear at Mamma Mia too.
It's not wrong.
I may have shed a tear.
That's not wrong. In Europe, men hold hands.
Yeah, that's gay.
That's right.
Yeah, just saying. When we were in Saudi Arabia, coming back from a trip over there, the
kiss on the mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was strange because they would come in their uniforms in the
They were what?
airport. They were they would come in their uniforms and they would kiss each other on the mouth.
Bleach takes out the stains. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. That's just a little too rough around the edges for me. But
soften it up with some. Never mind.
Oh, this whole thing went off the rails. With Biden and Beto, getting back to it, I think there's a shot that they'd be a formidable opponent against Trump and Pence.
Well, you got the somewhat old, crusty white man. You got the young. There's no female element in that though. Because everybody, just like with Obama, people specifically voted on the color of his skin to get that first in office. People still want a female president. They want that. They want that. They want that. I think this Kamala Harris, even though there's talk that she cannot run, I think that she plays a danger. The more I see it every single day, I bet you, because we didn't learn our lesson with Obama.
No.
Didn't learn our lesson with a first-time freshman senator who was having these radical ideas. AOC, if they don't find some way to bend around the election, you're going to see her as a candidate in the next cycle.
Oh, yeah, and I think that
she is dangerous.
If they don't amend the Constitution so that a person under 35 can run, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
I am in agreement with Matt Locke. I am waiting for the adult film to come out. She's not. She's not an unattractive woman.
No, but lately though, the pictures of her coming, it's not.
I still would.
Not.
I would do dirty things.
Initially, she was. Yeah, I thought she was smoking. The dance that she came out with when she did it in college, smoking hot. But lately, the pictures of her, and maybe that's what Washington does.
She's
to you
a bartender. Let me tell you something. That's a step above a stripper.
Better tips.
That's about it.
Just saying.
You said tips.
I did say tips. A nurse killed her husband to marry an inmate serving a life sentence. What is going on in the prisons? You ever worked in
No, never corrections. Thank God you're stuck in jail with those guys 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Correction officers are some of the toughest people out there.
What in the world? This is in Missouri. The police there said a Missouri prison nurse intent on marrying an inmate was charged with poisoning her husband with antifreeze.
Let me tell you something. After driving through Missouri the last couple days,
that
doesn't surprise me.
Miller County authorities announced Friday the 40-year-old Amy Murray of Iberia had been charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action in the death of her husband, Joshua Murray. She doesn't have an attorney yet, but they said his body was found after the fire on December 11th. So apparently she poisoned him with antifreeze, and then I tried to destroy the evidence by setting the house on fire. The sheriff's department determined that an accelerant was used to start the fire in the master bedroom. An autopsy determined he died of poisoning before the blaze. So people don't understand. Forensics these days.
You can't get away with anything.
No.
It's almost impossible.
Unless you incinerate the body.
The fire's not that hot, though. The fire, you have to have such an intense fire to burn to get rid of those teeth and those bones, all that kind of stuff. Yep.
She'd been employed as a nurse at the Jefferson City Correctional Center. She developed a romantic relationship with an inmate. And
what does that tell you? That's a lot of, it's mostly female correctional staff, jail guards that wind up falling in love with the inmates. Those guys are geniuses. Geniuses.
They really
can
are.
manipulate and get them to bring stuff and do me a favor, hide this up your butt, bring it to me here. Baby, find a dark, uncameraed room for me to have my conjugal visits with you. Those guys are geniuses.
They really are. You cannot be, and especially if you are like a serial killer, you can't be an idiot and be a serial killer.
No, plus they have nothing but time on their hands to educate themselves and
to think of this stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
But for a woman who's a nurse, obviously an intelligent woman enough to get through nursing school. Ooh. An intelligent woman. I mean, what had to be happening at home that was so bad that she decided that someone in prison?
Where do you want to start? She's probably a nag. She probably sits there, and she's probably up there. Well, I need all that stuff, and he probably got sick of it.
Too much of the blah bitty blah.
And friggin', she wouldn't wear her nursing home outfit at home. The guy probably at home just wanted a normal, great life and a sandwich, and she wouldn't give it to him, so she killed him and burned him up.
And this guy that she fell for, 40-year-old Eugene Claypool, she didn't want to be around her husband. She told him she wanted to divorce him. She told the Claypool, the guy in prison, that they could get married because her husband was dead. He is serving a life sentence for second-degree murder. The pair reportedly discussed getting Claypool an attorney so he could be released from prison early. She is now being held on $750,000 bond and scheduled to appear in court on Wednesday.
That's it? Missouri, only $750,000?
Apparently it's...
If they do the 10%, that's 70. Oh, my gosh.
I know, right?
Hey, note to self. You want to kill your spouse, move to Missouri first.
75 grand. She probably got that in insurance money. Speaking of your body, though, if you do give a crap about what's inside it, no pun intended, go to lovemytummy.com. We are discovering that more and more problems that happen with your body are directly related to gut health. Everything from depression. It's just amazing how it all ties back to what's going on in your gut. Sugar, which I am desperately trying to wean myself off of. When you are addicted to sugar, my name is Brad. I'm addicted to sugar.
She works down at 75th and
with
Vincennes, and you can see her on the weeknights after 10 p.m.
She does this thing with these
sugar is her last name.
It's amazing.
Right. Sugar's her last name.
But they're now saying like sugar gets into your gut, not only in your gut, into your bloodstream, and those
sugar gets in everywhere to you, baby.
And the little shards get into your veins and your arteries, and they can nick up the veins and arteries, and you develop scar. It's crazy. And what sugar can do to your gut is just absolutely insane. Go to lovemytummy.com, discover Atrantil, and it's a way to do something good for the inside of your body that could lead to a whole lot better health on the outside.
Sugar can do some good things for your inside for the body.
That's absolutely right.
$20. $20.
Same as downtown. Don't try to spell Atrantil. Just go to lovemytummy.com. That's lovemytummy.com. We will continue on with this, your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham says it's something that bears looking into. The South Carolina Republican talking about something that former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe said during his 60 Minutes interview.
It's stunning to me that one of the chief law enforcement officers of the land, the acting head of the FBI, would go on national television and say, oh, by the way, I remember a conversation with the Deputy Attorney General about trying to find if we could replace the president under the 25th Amendment.
Graham telling Face the Nation his committee will launch an investigation. Graham's words, we're a democracy. People who enforce the law can't take it into their own hands. In a tweet this morning, President Trump, referring to McCabe, writes that now his story gets even more deranged. The president adds that McCabe and Rod Rosenstein may have been planning a very illegal act and got caught. The president will talk Venezuela when he travels to Miami later today. In a speech at Florida International University, Mr. Trump will call on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to step down. Didn't take long for critics, Democrats, and some Republicans to come out against the president's declaration of a national emergency along the southern border. White House senior advisor Stephen Miller says the president could issue his very first veto if Congress tries to overturn the declaration.
He's going to protect his national emergency declaration, guaranteed.
Miller talking to Fox News Sunday. Democrats plan to introduce a resolution disapproving the declaration. It is likely to pass Congress, with several Republican senators already indicating that they would vote against the president, although there do not appear to be enough votes to override a presidential veto. Wall Street closed for the President's Day holiday. The Dow will resume trading tomorrow at 25,883. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. If you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world.
jdrf.org. You cannot retreat to your safe spaces. There are no therapy poodles allowed when facing the truth. And that's just how we like it. Straight, hard-hitting, conservatarian truth. On the rocks. No chaser. No marches. No protest. Only small, limited government, constitutional conversations. Exclusively on MoJo 50. We get into foreign policy. We get into national politics. We get into constitutional, libertarian, conservative ideology. We put the brakes on the media spin by destroying the lies, dismantling the narratives, and bringing you the stone-cold hard truth. Every weekend on MoJo 50. Join me, Adrian Slade, for a raging hour-long discussion, deconstructing the headlines and delivering you the entire full story. Only on MoJo 50. Live free.
Well, let's talk about the Golden Globes. Christian Bale said Satan inspired him playing Dick Cheney. Did Satan also inspire him to assault his wife, his sister, and his mother? Did Satan also inspire that? Just asking.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
Hey, it's Brad Staggs with big news. MoJo 50 is coming to you and to your town. It's all part of our way of helping the veterans in this country. The MoJo 50/50 tour is 50 states in 50 days. And we're traveling across the country in a bus. I don't know what could go wrong. If you go to MoJo5050tour.com, you can find all the details, including to tentative stops and how you can be a sponsor. MoJo 50/50 Tour, MoJo5050tour.com.
Rebel rousers, instigators, troublemakers, freaks, agitators, fanatics, scallywags, mutants, scamps, firebrands, rogues, scoundrels, MoJo sexuals. MoJo 50.
Ship has landed.
All right, if you want to join the circus that is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo, and boy, we're going to ride that horse right into the ground, aren't we? We got his picture up on the screen if you're watching on the live stream. We will ride him into the sunset. 20 Bum Orion. That's our phone number. 20 Bum Orion.
What?
That's one of our
Bum Orion.
Yeah, it's 202.
I'm still trying to visualize the riding him into the sunset.
866. We've saddled that. We've saddled a Doc Thompson horse. 866-7466.
I just want to wear. You know what? I'm going to wear chaps in the studio. I brought some with me.
By the way, you may need them. You kind of riled them up over on Facebook. Melody says, "I do not want a female president at all."
Okay, can I be a little sexist here for a second?
I was hoping you would.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, ladies. And I don't care if I offend you. It's just how it works. No, I don't want a female president either, because I want a man who's going to think rationally and without emotion. And don't tell me that Trump doesn't. You know, he's a businessman. Some woman who's going to get in office as a female president is going to act on emotion, because she's going to have that concept of, I'm the first female president. And her emotions are going to bleed through, and she's going to force her will on men of other countries and whatnot, for foreign dignitaries, all this stuff. She's going to put her fist down and let everybody know, I'm a woman, I'm the first president, I'm going to blah, 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 and it's going to be pure female lunacy. It's that time of the month. I need chocolates, I need this, I need that, and I'm going to take us into war. I don't want a female I don't want a female president, period. I don't think women should be president. I'm going to be sexist.
Well, if Hillary had been elected, it wouldn't have been a female president, so we would have been okay.
God, that she's a bag of smashed anuses. She looks like a dried up catcher's mitt, that has just taken a beating left and right. Bill Clinton took the one for the team. With his horse-faced daughter Chelsea.
I don't think that.
Do you realize somebody has to sleep with Chelsea?
I don't know why they call it sleeping together.
No, you know what? That is like he's the epitome of crying while he's during the act. He's like mid 3 minutes, because that's how long he probably lasts, just crying to himself, going, "I had to marry into this family." It wasn't like Schwarzenegger, who married into the Kennedys. He married into the Clintons, and he got the ugliest thing on the planet.
With that said, the Aurora, Colorado, I want to say Aurora, Colorado, but it was Aurora, Illinois.
About 30 minutes from my house.
Which is strange.
Yeah.
So you see what had happened up there? So he's being fired.
Oh, wait, who was being fired?
The shooter right? was being fired. He was in the HR meeting, the termination meeting.
Yeah, and what?
He brought a gun to work.
But what was that little fact that the media seemed to leave out about that?
The fact that he was not legally allowed to own a gun.
No, not that. Not that fact. There's another fact.
Which fact?
He was a white terrorist, wasn't he?
No, it's a black guy.
Oh,
yeah, it was a black guy. His name. Blah blah blah. Gary Martin, 45-year-old, killed by police after he shot and killed 5 people.
Wait, are you telling me that it wasn't a workplace white shooter?
I know
that didn't. So it wasn't a white guy who did that.
Against all odds.
Oh my God!
Go figure. He worked for the plant for 15 years. His firing was the result of multiple workplace rule violations. They don't say exactly what it was.
And he had a criminal record, and he shouldn't have had a FOID card. And he got that's a firearms Illinois owner identification card. Mm-hmm. And you telling me that he shouldn't have had a gun, but he got one anyways?
Yes.
Well, laws were. I don't know how the laws prevented that. Didn't prevent that.
No laws were going to stop that one. In 2014, he passed a background check. He purchased a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson handgun. He was later denied a concealed carry permit because his background check revealed a felony conviction.
He still had a gun.
And he still had the gun. So until we figure out exactly how you enforce the laws that are already on the books.
Let me explain something to you. If I want a piece of pizza and you're going to hide it from me because I'm on a diet, which will never happen, I'm going to get a piece of pizza. It's going to happen. So if you want a gun, you're going to get a gun. It's going to happen.
Yeah. And even if they outlawed every firearm across the board tomorrow, the ones that exist would still exist, and we would still have crime.
That has been my argument from day one. That argument shuts up every liberal out there when they go, well, you don't need this gun out there. Okay, so what happens if you sit there and stop the production of guns for the rest of time? You still have, 3 billion guns out there now?
Easily. So the argument that we need stricter gun laws, how about we enforce the laws that we have? How about we figure out...
how about you arm everybody? You arm everybody. Now, we are in this great state of Texas, right? Mm-hmm. I have to look at how many people are carrying. A
lot.
I have a feeling that if you level the playing field, now you guys don't get the kind of crime up that we get in Chicago, right? You guys don't get the shootings down here.
No, we don't have nearly the crime rates.
That would probably because if I lost my marbles today and I went out to Texas and I said, hey, I'm going to shoot, there's a possibility that somebody is going to end me before I even draw that thing from my waist.
An armed society is a polite society.
Oh.
We discovered that when we were out in Vegas at SHOT Show a few weeks ago.
Where I wasn't invited to.
Oh, you're always invited.
I wasn't invited. No, I was specifically told by management, you're not allowed to come.
There's an opening for next year, by the way.
I heard about that.
It was the most polite crowd I've ever seen at any trade show or convention ever in my life. Ever. I mean, if people bump, most trade shows, you're walking down the hall and people bumping into you. Guys, get out of the way. Here, you bumped into somebody. I'm sorry, excuse me. So incredibly polite. And it was the fact, I'm convinced that it was. I mean, you're not supposed to technically have loaded weapons in the. But I think it was just the mutual respect. You knew that everyone was there for the same
fantasy of paradise. And you know what my idea of paradise is?
72 virgins.
No, virgins. 72 strippers.
Yeah.
72 strippers, and they are all armed. Every single one of them.
Wearing nothing but a holster?
But a holster. That is paradise. When you guys want to do, if I'm dead That's where Doc is right now. He's laughing at us. He's like, "Hey, look, another one."
This is so. Yeah, when you figure out how we can actually enforce the laws that we have, then let me know, and then talk to me about new gun laws. And
the
more
answer is
restrictive
more
gun
guns. I actually got to hang out with Ted Nugent a couple of years ago. And somebody asked him, it was very cool, but he's exactly like you think he is. So trying to get a word in edgewise of him was impossible. But he said something very cool, and somebody asked him, "Hey, do you always carry a gun?" And Uncle Ted's like, "Carrying a gun is like carrying a bullet." So I went, "Oh my God, that is fantastic."
You have to have a backup.
Yep.
You never know when someone's going to strip you of your first gun.
Yep.
You got to have the backup in place just in case. See here, common sense train reform.
Yeah, I see that. He says
reform sleeve.
Yep. I don't understand what that is, but okay.
We now go live to Chelsea Clinton and her husband after the lovemaking. I'll leave that one there. Microaggressing Doc Hole. Hillary looks like a bag of smashed anuses. Wins all social media today.
I'm having a hard time with these tweets because this is new for me. But attack effing Yuki. What I learned today. Hashtag what I learned today. Some people you just got to take from behind and make sure there's not a mirror in the room.
Okay, I can understand.
No,
that.
I can't because where's the fun? It's an unflattering angle, and let me tell you, stuff like that teaches you to A, hit the tanning bed every once in a while, and B, start a diet. That is hashtag I cry after the porn I watch.
Larky F. and Fark and Bill Clinton had to look up with Monica Lewinsky to get the bad taste of Hillary out of his mouth. See, Larky F. and Farkin. Blah, 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 blah. Hashtag more trustworthy than Jesse Smollett. Amtrak's track record. Thank you. Mississippi. Hashtag what on today? The MoJo slogan. MoJo 50. Great minds think alike, and so do ours. A little wordy, but I like it. We're headed in the right direction. MoJo, new MoJo slogan: hotter than a man in a nurse outfit. That could be. I can. Yeah, you can.
I'm extremely secure in my manhood because the jackals were talking about this and putting a nurse outfit on me. I have absolutely no problem, putting myself through shame for entertainment value. So you never know, guys. We are in video, and you don't know if what I'll be wearing in the next couple of days.
It could get interesting.
Yeah. Attack effing Yuki says carrying a gun with no bullets is like carrying a wrapper with no condom, no protection at all. Condoms.
Wow.
I'm sorry. What do you think? We're wimps in here?
No kidding.
Condoms, please. That's funny.
Oh, by the way, they gave away some great souvenirs from Doc's funeral.
Did you take a toe or something?
We got the.
You walked out of there with an arm.
Small piece. I'll always have a little piece of Doc with me. They've got the funeral, the program here, the bookmark.
Did any jackhole? I was daring a jackhole to show up in blackface.
No,
that would have been.
None of them did. I know, a little disappointing.
So they kept it respectful.
For the most part, it was pretty amazing. I was stunned. So the beautiful bookmark, which by the way, on the back of the bookmark, Cal looked over. He says it looks like it should be the new cover of a Journey album.
Oh,
it kind of does.
Yeah. With Steve Perry or the Asian sing-alike?
Have you ever seen him?
I've heard him. He sounds just like Steve Perry.
Amazing. And they dressed him up in a Steve Perry outfit. I saw him in Nashville, and they were
And
fabulous.
Steve Perry is probably one of the greatest male voices in the history of rock and roll.
Yeah. If you have a chance to see the new Journey with this new guy, it is incredible and brilliant. I mean, it's kind of what we're doing here. We're going to dress people up as Doc Thompson. And,
I'll wear Kiss platform lifts, and I'll probably be 5'10" at that point.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever it takes. I did want to mention that we've got these the little cards, and I tweeted out and I thought this was genius. The funeral home put out these little the cards in loving memory of Michael Dean Thompson at the dates there, and the rules. It listed the rules on this card. Don't be a jerk. Keep the talent happy. Always come clean. It's not offensive if it's true, and just because you can doesn't mean you should. We have 50 of these that I stole from the funeral home on the way out. I had to run quickly. So if you did not go, if you want to get one of your own, we have 50 of them. And if you send an email, Ron, we still have the doc@mojo50 email still works, right?
doc@mojo50.com.
So if you send your address to that email address, doc@mojo50.com, and I will put one of these in an envelope and mail it to you. We have 50 of them, and when they're gone, they're gone. Unless we decide that there's a way that we could make money by printing more, in which case there will be more. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But doc at mojo50.com if you want to get one of these little cards with the rules printed on it. And
here's your Tesla's coil jackhole, hashtag new MoJo slogan. Adults unadulting unadulterated.
Bit wordy, but I like it. Just needs to be something. And again, if we're coming up with a slogan, we're brainstorming a slogan for MoJo 50 so that when you see it, you know what we are. It could be frightening, but when you see it and you read it in just a few words, it tells the world, somebody who isn't familiar with us and the Jackhole Nation, it tells them in a sentence what we are.
Well, that would be hashtag can't rape the willing.
I like that one too.
Commie Cat approves a new MoJo slogan: "Give me bacon or give me death."
See, I like the way they're thinking. So use the hashtag new MoJo 50 slogan, or as you've done, just any formation of those words with slogan and MoJo, and we'll take a look at all of those. And if we happen to choose yours, we will steal it from you and give you absolutely no credit. Just to be fair. I mean, you could win $1 million, not from us, but you could win $1 million.
Oh God! That is how I start the Izzo Paradise manifestation. $1 million, strippers, guns. I don't need anything else.
Paradise.
That's it. Right
Paradise, in other words. So, are you an early riser overall?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to interject this one. Reverend Rachel profiling, hashtag new MoJo slogan. It's better than a dose of the clap.
That's true.
MoJo 50. It's better than a dose of the clap. Yeah, I'm an early riser because I don't sleep, so I don't go to bed.
Because I've gotten texts from you at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then at 6 a.m. When the hell do you sleep?
Why are you not telling the text that I'm sending you though?
Did you send me a text?
I'm the pictures. You didn't get those?
Oh, those.
Yeah.
I haven't used them yet, so I will when I get them. And I did forget it.
Yeah, I take frequent naps because I'm terrified of death, pretty much.
Well, there was a post on BBC's website about waking up early and whether or not it's good for you.
Which BBC?
No, not that one.
Oh,
okay. This is the British Broadcasting Company. Okay. The only way to be successful is to get up at the crack of dawn, or so the story goes. But early rising productivity is not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Force it in, it is.
That's true. One size does fit all in that case. People who get up early say that there are fewer distractions during the early hours. Kids or anything else in your home that they're probably still asleep. And you're going to be getting fewer texts and emails at that time.
See, this is all designed for people who have those things like marriage going on and kids where you just are so miserable that you get up. And everybody, like, you get military personnel talking about the fact of get up at 4:30 in the morning and get your work done and go to gym and all this stuff, and you get your jump on the day.
Right.
I agree with that kind of stuff and philosophy. This is nothing more. Getting up early is nothing more than advocating for not dealing with people. That's all it is. That's all it is. Go to the gym. Right. People go to the gym or that early because there is nobody at the gym. Get up before your kids because you don't want to listen to your kids complaining. Get up before your wife because you don't want to see her face. This is nothing more than an advocation for get away from people. This is it.
Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple. He said he gets up at 3:45 to start checking email in California before his East Coast colleagues get up. Oprah Winfrey gets up at 6:02 every day for reflection.
Because it takes her how long to get out of bed?
Roll out of bed. And she exercises, she says, before starting work at 9 o'clock.
You get a free, whatever. I hate that woman.
And Mark Wahlberg gets up at 2:30 in the morning.
He does his prayer time at 2:45. I don't like his workouts. I don't know.
He exercises, plays golf, prays, and then recovers in a minus 100 degrees Celsius cryo chamber.
But he's also in bed by 7:30 at night. So what's the point?
He?
That's the catch of it. So he's up at 2:30 in the morning, but if you look at his schedule, it says he's in bed by 7:30 at night. What's the point? Again, unless you want to get away from your wife and kids. He might be a genius at that point. He might be a genius. Because even him, I bet Marky Mark, 18 years old, he was the ladies loved him. Now he's 45, 46.
Right.
I will bet you at home that his wife is like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Marky Mark. I don't care, Mr. Calvin Klein underwear model. He's got kids. He is not getting laid. He's got a nag, and he is just, I want to get up early to get away from my wife. I want to go to bed to get away from my wife. I'm telling you.
Studies suggest that early rising and success might be linked. People who wake up early are more in sync with the traditional corporate schedule. They tend to have more proactive personalities, which might lead to better grades in school or higher wages on the job. If getting up doesn't come naturally early, there's some strategies they say you can try. Early exercise and exposing yourself to light.
See, I could do that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
As light as soon as possible can help stimulate metabolism.
Get the wide-angle lens in here. I'm getting ready.
Yes, see, now you know why I hate sitting there. Early exercise stimulates the body temperature and metabolism, helps get you going more quickly. The early alarm clock may not work for everybody. It says it turns out there are plenty of caveats around trying to become a morning person if it's not an easy fit. See, it's not for everybody. Some people are biologically more likely to feel more alert in the morning. Others are their best at night.
We were created so our eyelids are like, what is it? There's transparent and opaque. Opaque, no light gets through, right?
There's translucent is light transfer.
So we were designed so that our eyelids would pass through that little bit of light in the morning. You're biologically designed to get up at like 6 in the morning and then bed at freaking 9 o'clock at night.
But you're right, because I get up early and I have for a very long time, and it's the quiet.
Yes, it's nice.
It's the lack of people. It's the lack of because I get distracted by the least little thing that it doesn't matter if I see butterflies. I mean, shiny objects really grab my attention.
I take that as a compliment. Do you feel butterflies when I sat in the chair?
I did.
There you go.
It's
not wrong. It's
and
not
very
wrong.
distracting.
Hashtag no homo. It's okay.
In Toronto, to ease things around the office, they have installed nap rooms.
I could go for that. And you know what? That's my regret for going the cop route and not the firefighter route. I wanted a job. You know what?
That's a good
Those
point.
guys had the big Barca loungers. They napped. Oh, my God. What a great job.
Yeah, because it was being a firefighter, I would assume, is a lot like war. Hours of boredom punctuated by moments of terror. Yeah. But as a cop,
a lot of cooking.
You were always and people bringing you cookies too.
I did towards the end of and I don't like admitting this, but I did once. I was exhausted once, and I backed into a very secluded part of our town where I couldn't get found, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm like, okay, I can close my eyes for 10 minutes before my shift starts because I started at 5 a.m.
Right.
I'm gonna do this, and a guy, I remember hearing a guy knocking on my window, and I had my sunglasses on at the time, and I was prepared for everything. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have my sunglasses on, and if somebody winds up finding me or complaining, I'm gonna say, well, I was praying. This guy sat there and said, do you know where this direction is? I was like, oh my God, I could have got shot and killed.
Yeah.
But I got, that was the first and only time I ever napped.
So as a cop, you were always looking for trouble.
Yeah, the brainwash that I bought into was everybody's a bad guy, drugs are bad, all this stuff. Let's go pull people over.
Right.
You got to go. Oh, I'm looking for every probable cause, possibility to get in your car. Yeah, I ruined a lot of lives.
I have, and I was getting Doc to watch some of these in the past few weeks. The videos on YouTube where it's the DUI checkpoint refusals.
Oh yeah,
and the traffic stop refusals where they. The guys in the cars who shoot these videos and the women, they know the law.
No, it's not that they know the law. It's the cops are not smart enough to know the law in return. That's the problem.
Yeah.
How many times do you have, am I being detained? And the cop just can't go, yes, you are. It's a traffic stop. You're being detained. You watch these cops, they're just,
You're right. And I said that to somebody. I said, the cops in these things are not reacting the right way. They're making themselves look stupid.
Order anybody out of the car for any reason whatsoever. Sir, step out of the car. And if a lawyer's going to say, why'd you order my client out of the car? Why'd you, it's for officer safety reasons. Step out of the car.
In Texas, you cannot stop an ID.
No, you can't do that either in Illinois. But if you stop for probable cause and that person has got the window rolled up and they got that thing, sir, step out of the car. Why? Because I'm ordering you step out of the car.
And you can order, and when you order
any reason whatsoever,
they have to.
Absolutely. Now they're obstructing.
Even in Texas.
Now they're obstructing. Now they're resisting.
Interesting.
You know what? What people just need to do is they need to sit there, do what they're told on a traffic stop, sue later, and win.
That's what I was always taught: is when you get pulled over,
you're not going to win on the street.
Be polite. And I'll swear to you, having a carry permit gets you out of more.
Oh my God.
Tickets. because I've several times stopped, and the first thing, you have your weapon with you, either yes or no, and then yeah, sorry,
Now,
was I? And I yeah. I,
Texas, do you have to say that?
No,
because in Illinois, the driver is not required to tell the police officer that they're carrying.
They generally, every time I've been pulled over, they know before they get up to the window.
Texas, yeah.
So they run a
Greatest state in the
tag,
union.
which your tag is, I guess, connected to your driver's license somehow. But they seem to know beforehand, and I've found if you're just polite and you, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to run that, but yeah, I was thinking about whatever, and blah blah blah. Have a nice day. Be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's mutual respect,
Or the fact you're white. I don't know.
or the
Could be
fact that I have really soft hands.
Well, you do the
I mean,
dishes.
any of those are possibilities. Speaking of fat, I know you.
How did where?
When you just look
that
at
that angle, the camera
look
angle.
at the camera shot.
We go from my racist traffic stop to all of a sudden my friggin' waist size.
Has anybody given you Riduzone yet?
Rim zone?
No, not Riduzone.
No. I was hoping for a Friday night gift, but no, it's not happening.
It's not Friday yet. It's
No.
still Monday.
No,
We got a long
jump in,
way to
I'll
go.
love you.
Riduzone is, this is the week. You notice there's no M&Ms around me. I haven't had any today, and I'm trying to get on the healthier track now.
It's not worth it.
It's hard to do. It really is. And if you're trying to lose weight, if you got your head in the right place,
where would that be?
Wow, because you're not going to lose weight. There's no pill out there that you can just take and lose weight. Not going to happen.
How can I lose weight there?
You got to be ready to lose weight. You have to be in the right mindset, and when you are, you need every little advantage and every little trick that you can get, and that's what Riduzone is. It has it's a little supplement you take every day at up to 3 times a day, and it has it's a molecule called OEA, which is something they find in the Mediterranean. It's something your body produces naturally, and all this does is helps your body create more of it, and it may help you avoid those food cravings. It could actually help speed up your metabolism.
Can it help me look sexier?
I think it has that
swimwear.
It has that possibility. It is not a miracle drug, however.
I'm getting it then.
But if you are ready to lose weight, if you are ready and you want that little extra something, that little magic bullet that might help you, Riduzone.com is the place to go. Riduzone.com. And get rid of that ugly, ugly fat. We'll continue with our ugly fat. Yeah,
Don't
I know,
you
right?
dare.
Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo continues here in just a moment. Mojo 50.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
Have you started doing your taxes? If so, then you've likely realized the full impact of the 2018 tax law changes. For many people, it's resulted in more money in their pocket throughout the year and less than a tax return at the end. But one area that was dramatically affected was the state tax deductions. For a few states, the new tax law has shown a bright light on what years of banking on federal tax deductions will do for you. Take New York, for example, where the state has a $2.3 billion revenue shortfall and it's losing its wealthiest citizens in droves. In fact, New York actually lost 45,810 residents from July 1st, 2017 to July 1st, 2018, according to the Census Bureau numbers. Why the losses? New York has long banked on a high tax burden for its wealthiest citizens because it knew most of it would be written off the federal taxes. Now, with the new tax laws in place, that is no longer the case, and the chickens are coming home to roost. Recently, Governor Andrew Cuomo submitted a $175 billion budget, but thanks to that shortfall we just talked about, he's already rethinking said budget proposal. But rather than take a look at his own policies, he's got the real culprits, Florida and the feds. Never mind, it is his own state's tax policies that are driving people into the arms of states like Florida, who have much more advantageous individual tax policies. Never mind the fact that you chose to put the burden of 46% of all tax income on the backs of the wealthiest people in your state. Just think of this statement from Cuomo, quote, "If even a small number of high-income taxpayers leave, it has a great effect on this tax base. You are relying on a very small number of people for the vast amount of your tax dollars. May I suggest if that's the case, you're doing it wrong? But don't worry, New Yorkers, Cuomo has a plan. He's going to sue the feds for their diabolical tax law changes. Isn't socialist thought grand? This has been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins, and you can follow me on Twitter at The Coppins Show."
The Daily Mojo.
All right, keep the tweets and the comments coming in over on MeWe and Facebook and Twitter. What were you just reading there, Izzo? Let's see.
Turn this mic on and it goes. Common sense train reform. Oh, was I really?
No, the Mexico thing. People shot and killed him.
I just saw an article real quick that a bar in Cancun was 5 people were shot and killed. I didn't read the article yet, but if I'm going to be like every other typical American out there, it's 5 people shot dead at a bar in Cancun. So I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist, and I'm going to be like a typical liberal American who doesn't read the article, and I'm going to say that, oh my gosh, if I'm reading this article, just based on the title alone, that means that there were 5 Americans that were shot because Cancun is a tourist attraction.
Right.
And I'm going to guess that's because a Hispanic person was outraged at what's going on because America has vilified and demonized the relationship between the Hispanics and Americans.
I love Mexico. We vacation in Mexico for years, and it is, I mean, years ago, it was so inexpensive. We went to at the time, let's see, I was married to wife number whatever. And
how many times have you been married?
Oh, I've lost count. Only twice. That's all you need, really. Bookends.
At the same time?
No.
Utah's
Are
law?
you kidding? I cannot.
Utah's law? Was it polygamy or poly whatever?
I didn't have sister wives. I couldn't handle all the blah bitty blah. But we were at an all-inclusive resort in one of them was in Mexico, and it cost over the course of the week to eat and drink $125. I mean, it was stunningly inexpensive, and the people are friendly, and and lately around the resorts you've seen the shootings and the poisonings, and it's a little strange. I don't know what's going on down there, but
I want to be kidnapped. I just want to go down there and be kidnapped, because but my idea of kidnapping is done by if you watch Telemundo. Mm-hmm. And you watch the soap operas.
Yes,
I want to be kidnapped by one of those ladies. Oh, yeah. 5 of those ladies from Telemundo.
All you need to do is win the lottery to do that. If you the guy in Jamaica, the lottery winner in Jamaica, he wanted to conceal his identity, so he showed up to claim his prize wearing the mask from the Scream movies.
I did see that. Brilliant man.
He was identified as A. Campbell. He collected his winnings this month. He won about $1 million in U.S. currency. He hit the Super Lotto jackpot, but waited 54 days before claiming his prize.
You know what? Here's the deal that tells you something about their country then, because he's probably going to get robbed anyways.
Yeah. He'll end up dead in a ditch somewhere.
Hashtag Izzo is a bigot.
I've been to Jamaica. There are parts of it that are absolutely incredibly fabulous.
That's what she said. I mean, man, she's talking about, that's exactly right.
You do not want to wander into the parts that aren't incredibly awesomely fabulous.
That's even more euphemism.
Yeah. You will end up incredibly awesomely
Is that a tree?
dead.
Is that a downed tree? No, it's not, lady.
Yeah. It's Jamaica. It's a very pretty place, but boy, do you have to...
I have friends who go there several times a year, and they tell me that you do not want to wander off of any resort you go to, that the crime is absolutely horrific. You will get abducted, you will get murdered, and somebody will be using your face as a mask.
Yeah. And it's funny because back when it was was it a British protectorate back in the 50s or 60s?
What didn't the British own? They took everything. They raped the world.
When you see some of one of the James Bond films was shot there around Montego Bay.
Which Bond?
I can't remember. I was just watching it.
Timothy Dalton?
No, it was early. It was like Sean Connery.
Oh, the good Bonds. Good Bonds.
Way back when.
Even though I am a fan of Daniel Craig.
Oh, Daniel Craig's been by far the best.
Amazing.
I think the best Bond.
We agree.
And I used to like Roger Moore, and then we've been watching some of the old ones. Obviously, they're all old. They got him. They're really campy.
They're supposed to be. Yeah. I didn't see the only one with George Lazenby. I never saw that one.
They say he did a good job. I don't think I've seen that one either. But
His Majesty's Secret Service. No, is that a one?
Yes, that was one with Lazenby. Connery did. He did. They were more tongue in cheek with the one-liners. But with Roger Moore, they started getting into the cartoonish stuff, and it just I don't know.
That's the one with Jaws.
Yeah,
Richard Keel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you had the circus with Octopussy and Plenty O'Toole. The one that was actually Roger Moore with the Golden.
I still like Odd Job.
Or no, that was a Man with the Golden Gun with Roger Moore. But they got kind of campy until Daniel Craig. But if you see some of those were those scenes in Jamaica, boy, it was a bunch of white folk down there. It was like white bread Montego Bay. It did not. And I don't know what happened, but things kind of went south in Montego Bay and a lot of parts of Jamaica. 15 years ago would have been 2004. 26 things that blew our minds 15 years ago, but are now totally worthless.
Oh, me.
That too. A TV with a VHS player built into it.
Yep.
Remember those little 12-inch TVs? And I guess they made them even bigger, but they had a VHS built into them. How cool was that? You didn't have to worry about lugging around the two pieces of electronics. Then they came out with the TV and the DVD player.
Had one of those.
Built into it. Boy, were those things heavy, come to think of it. Number 3 on the list, see-through electronics.
What?
Well, they had like the Game Boy and the phones and all of that
You could
stuff.
see the working bits on the inside. Yes, I remember.
For whatever reason, we were fascinated by being able to see the circuit
because I didn't
boards.
get it, obviously.
I never really thought it was all that great. Like there was an iMac computer that had the see-through
it was
case.
a big thing, looked like 4 feet wide and all that. Yep.
Yeah, all those the CRT monitors. Number 4, an iPhone app that you get to drink fake beer. And that was, although the iPhone didn't come out until 2008.
Oh, you turned your phone and it would just dip down. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at me. And then there's some guy I remember had a razor one, like a shaver. Bzzz, and he's shaving us. Oh, you look at how funny you are. Sit down.
Or the fake lighter.
Yeah, there you go.
That's changed the concept.
I had the fake girlfriend.
Much less expensive.
Oh my gosh.
Much less expensive.
Much easier to clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can douse them down in water. Number 6 on the list, phones with internet on them in the first place. The fact that your phone could even get, back when phones were just phones, back before, I guess it was 2004-ish.
Yeah, I had my first one. That was a Primeco, that little alien dude.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And remember I think the first phone I had with internet, was it a Samsung Instinct? And then a BlackBerry.
Yep. But Samsung was brilliant. Samsung, what they did is they took all of the money that they profited from their phones, because their phones weren't fantastic. Their phones were average.
Mm-hmm.
They took all of the money they profited, they reinvested in their company, and they put it into TV technology. And they became one of the top TV producers out there with the flat screens.
Yeah, the original little screens on those phones, though, were about the size of a postage stamp. And that was the biggest I love the BlackBerry. Because of the keyboard, you could feel the keyboard.
Typing in. Yep.
I was a fast typer on that thing, but the screen, I think that's how I ruined my eyes, is trying to read on that stupid tiny little screen. That was tough. And then you had to pay for internet as you went.
Yep.
Boy, that got expensive. Number 7 on the list, portable DVD players.
Yeah,
I thought those were cool too, because you could take them on airplanes and watch.
You remember laser discs?
Oh yeah,
those are good.
Yeah. You can get those at antique stores now. Car phones.
Oh, with the cord. Yeah.
Did you ever have a car phone?
No.
I had one installed in my truck. I thought I was the coolest
That's
thing.
15 years ago? Holy cow.
Well, that was actually back in the 90s that those came out. So this is on BuzzFeed. They're stretching the truth just a smidge. But car phones, I remember having that. But the thing about that was you had to be in the car.
You couldn't
take it in.
Right.
Unless you had a bag phone.
With the whole big brick, and then it was attached to and you had a shoulder harness for it.
But remember the brick phones, those early Motorola's? That were the best thing about those is you could put them on your shoulder.
People who thought they were cool, they had the portable phones, a giant antenna. Yeah.
But with
now it's an impact weapon now.
You can't put them up to your shoulder. You can't hold them with your shoulder. So that's a problem. I think some technology is not a good thing. Number 9, robot dogs that eventually died, just became things your parents tripped over.
Yes, now we have robot dolls for pleasures and whatnot.
Well, yeah, that didn't die, did it?
No, that'll be 15 years from now. That's going to be replacing like the wife. Ladies, pay attention.
What do you mean 15 years from now? In Japan, that already is.
They have an obsession with nocturnal lighting pleasures with anything other than humans.
It's weird.
Or it's going to be normal.
Right.
Or it's going to be normal.
Yeah. If they continue that trend, there are not going to be enough Japanese to
The
continue
Chinese are coming, and yes, they are.
Number 10 on the list, watches that lit up blue. Like the Timex that had the indigo blue glow to them. And now who wears a watch?
To be honest, I wear a watch, right?
Look at you. Does it glow blue?
No. This has been stuck at 10 or 5 to 5 for 2 years. I have not changed this battery, and I'm not touching it. Not touching it.
Do you ever take it off? Do you ever take it off?
Yeah, I take it off, but yeah, it's.
Is there significance to the time that?
No,
it
I'm lazy. I'm just lazy. I sat there and I'm like, all right, whatever.
That was the last time you had an 11.
Yep. There you go.
Aggressively thick big screen TVs.
You can. Your mic got to cut out at aggressively thick, and then again, I was in a band called Aggressively Thick.
Yeah, these are those big
tribute to Sinatra
rear screen TVs that they were 4 or 5 feet wide and 3 feet deep.
And they had
I had one of those, dude. It cost me $5,000.
And how much? And how many people did it take to move it?
Oh, probably
They're
3 or 4
Yep.
people, easy.
And if you were dead in front of it, and then you move 3 feet to the side,
The glare,
you couldn't see it.
Couldn't
anymore.
watch it on the. You couldn't watch it with
What was
lights
that?
on.
The rear projection. Yeah.
DLPs. Yeah.
It seemed like a good idea at the time. Number 12 on the list of things that 15 years ago or a little bit longer really thrilled us, but not so much anymore. The fish that everybody's uncle had, the Billy Bass.
That
sang?
was huge.
Yep.
Yep.
That was like the adults version of Furbies. Netflix's DVD service.
That's been 15 years already.
It's been 16.
Yeah,
I
it needs to
think.
go away because now it's just liberal crap, and you can't get anything good on there.
I love my Netflix, and I have a lifetime apparently subscription to Netflix because I did one of the original media tours for them. They were a client 16 years ago. Went around the country singing their.
Was that how they paid you? Was it in the lifetime?
Well, I didn't know that. They gave me the subscription initially so I could talk about it, and it was cool because you got the DVD in the mail. You watched it. You threw it back in the mail. You could keep it as long as you wanted, so there was no late fees. You threw it back in the mail in the prepaid envelope. They sent you another one. It was great.
Cow. You know, some of the best TV I've watched is stuff that you've recommended off of Netflix. I love.
There's some good
stuff.
stuff. You do have to pick through some of the left leaning stuff, but a couple of years ago, I got an email saying your subscription is coming to an end and blah, blah, blah. And now you got to put in a credit. I was like, oh, man, well, this is good while it lasted. It was like 12 years worth of having free Netflix. And so I put my credit card in. A couple of days later, I got another email saying, oops, we sent that email to you in error. We've taken the credit card off and we've credited your account like $16,000.
Hashtag what's Brad's sign in and password?
I don't. It's amazing. So apparently it's going to take me another 30
Heartbroken
years.
Peach. Heartbroken Peach. What I learned today, I'm going to need your login, Netflix login at Real Brad Staggs.
Weird, but I guess I'll have Netflix till the day I die, which I'm not complaining. Hit clips. Yes, Matlock, did you want to say something?
I just want to say you're communist, but other than that, Dominic, you need to stay longer. There are cigars on the way.
Okay.
Who's sending cigars?
Tater.
Is it really?
Tater is sending us
Tater
cigars.
or
He's like,
Raider?
Izzo's in the studio all week. Cigars on the way.
Is it Raider or Tater?
Tater.
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 Now, who's Tater?
He's a jackhole. He's sending cigars. He knows Dominic and I like to smoke some cigar. Where's the bell? Ding.
Right
well,
there.
and Ron Phillips. The new guy over here likes him too.
What you guys do after the show is entirely up to you.
Oh, I've got some big cigars.
You're not going to complain.
No judgment tone whatsoever.
Just saying.
Hit clips. Do you remember hit clips? They were little things that
clips.
Yeah, hit clips. They apparently clipped to your belt. I guess they played songs.
No.
The original iPod with buttons.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the little track wheel that went as you spun
Yep.
it. Off-brand little MP3 players that you could use.
Those are crap.
Yeah. The paper toss iPhone game.
Paper toss iPhone.
You took a shot, or I guess it was a shot. It was a video on your phone where you tried to toss little scraps of paper into the trash can.
Okay.
I don't know. N64 Rumble packs. Those were the handheld controllers that actually had like sensor round in them.
Sure.
The batteries that checked how much energy was left. Remember you had to push both ends?
Yeah.
Those and you ended up denting your
So
thumbs.
look at the massive jumps in technology in the last 15 years. It's insane.
Well, a stupid battery thing. I don't think it ever worked anyway. Ketchup that was purple.
Yeah, that made me sick. I number one, I don't like ketchup to begin with, unless it's on my eggs. But I couldn't do that. It's like anything that's not. If ketchup started as purple, I wouldn't have a problem.
Right. If it was made out of eggplant or something. Internet browsers that you had to purchase from a store. That's right. You did. You like Netscape Navigator. You bought.
You bought it in a box and you brought home. That's right.
Wow. Those days are gone. The cassette tape that let you connect your iPod to your car stereo.
With the car wire. Yep.
Directions. Remember going to MapQuest and printing out your directions?
Yep.
Yeah. And taking the paper with you in the car? The Game Boy snake lights that you plugged into the side of the Game Boy and it gave you a little light.
Yes.
And finally, no, I guess there was one more. CD players with 45-second skip protection.
Yes.
The bump protect while you're jogging.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you ever jog with a CD player, Brad?
What is jogging? Is that where you?
Okay. Did you ever exercise with a CD player?
Don't do it by train tracks.
Right. I never jogged with no, did not.
And hell, CD players on computers, you don't even get those hardly anymore.
No,
I sat there and I got a new computer not too long ago, and there may have been some kind of DVDs I wanted to watch. Couldn't do it. Didn't have it on there.
See?
Didn't have it on there.
You have to have them on your little MP3 stick now, or whatever it is. So those are things. Technology has come quite a ways. Speaking of technology, going all the way back to 1998. This is a little bit from Doc, and I think, again, this was at Magic in Cleveland. It's called Naked Cleaner. And we'll just see.
I flunked it, and I thought I could try to beat it. There's no surprises. It's not like you see sometimes where they suddenly turn to you and go, "Did you kill that person?" And you go, "No!" And the needle goes off, and suddenly you're guilty. It's not like that at all. What the heck's going on out here?
I don't know, but I'm not going to stop it.
Let's go to commercial. Somebody just took their top off and they're cleaning our windows. I'm complete. Wait a minute. We have to. Someone came in this morning. Wait a minute. They're taking their pants off now. Who is this woman who's just walked in here?
Yeah.
What? Who is this?
This is our new cleaning service.
You
guys just go ahead and do your show.
She's in bra and panties right now, standing in our glass window.
It's our new cleaning service.
This is not our cleaning service.
Just go ahead and do your show.
You know, Doc just came out at the break and said, "This place is so dirty, we need a new cleaning service." And I thought he was.
Like, get him alone.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Jimmy and I were just talking about how dirty this place has gotten.
She's getting tired. She's taking off her top now.
Let me explain what this is.
She's taking off her bra.
Let me explain what's going on here. Lady just walked in. We're in a glass enclosed studio.
Oh, my Lord.
Handed us a sign. This is a note that says nude house cleaning by attractive females. Dancers available for in-out calls.
This is Jimmy Malone.
Hi. That's Chip Cooley. Wait a minute. The windows need to be cleaned on the inside, too. You know, you're not done yet.
Oh, but guys, you know what? It is so hot in here. I just still think.
No, she's got to take more off. I'm
a little
weak.
bit overdressed.
I could go.
It is hot in here.
It is very warm.
She's taking her panties off.
Oh, my.
This is nude house cleaning.
Oh gosh, where can I put
My God, she's naked.
What did I just say?
She put her panties on Malone's head. What is going on?
I'll tell you one thing. I'm about to have a cleaning house in Solon because we got a new cleaning service, buddy.
She's naked.
I just want to tell Carol, my cleaning woman, that you're fired.
You're fired. Fired. This is cleaning your house.
Oh, my.
What's your name?
My name's Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Oh, just peachy.
Yeah.
She does window. Peachy.
It's a lovely morning to be naked.
Yes, it is a lovely morning to be naked. Jim, care to join her? I mean, what, you want to wash? You want to wash your window? Anything? Jim,
hello.
Jimmy hasn't said a word.
Come in, Malone.
Jimmy is stunned. He's really just stunned. So you do this naked, right? You go to houses and clean houses naked?
Absolutely.
I mean, somebody calls up and says, how much do you charge?
Doesn't matter.
So you just walked in this morning and started to clean our windows.
Oh, yeah.
Did someone call?
Well, yeah, we called.
You called?
Yeah, we figured the studio's been dirty, John.
Yeah, I see. I just wondered if we actually...
Oh, yeah.
Do we have to pay her or anything?
That's what
This is called a freebie in the business. Is this a new business?
Yeah, they just got this section of it going.
How do you know so much about this?
John, I've been up on this. She's been cleaning my house for months.
Oh, please.
How many women are available to clean?
We have a handful of them.
Well, this is what was your name again?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. I forgot for a second. It's just you have a lovely face, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Jimmy, what do you think?
He doesn't seem to be looking at my face.
He's not look. What are you looking at, Jim?
I'm looking at everything.
Are you looking at
face, hair?
She does have on long
Yes,
stockings.
she's not naked. She has on socks.
She's just naked.
This is shocking. What kind of training program do they have for the?
No.
Well, it's natural talent.
I have ancestors who were jailed for what I'm doing right now.
They're very nice breasts.
Oh,
I mean, they're
thank you.
perky. They're alive. They're
They're
young.
all mine.
And they're all yours. And they're young. I mean, they're young breasts. That's nice, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
And these are very young and firm. They're very nice.
A little cold in here, apparently, John.
Yes, it is kind of
little
chilly in
nipply.
here. A little what?
Nipply.
A little nipply.
Oh, yes.
It is a little nip. I'm still stunned. I start to tell a story. I look up and someone comes to our window, takes her top off, then her butt, and starts to clean our windows.
I wish this had happened yesterday when Bob Taft was here.
Taft would still be here. Well, gosh,
I'm thinking of lucky Craig Willis. He's got 2 houses to be cleaned.
yeah. Okay. Well, gosh, I don't know. I really don't know what else to say. Except
I'll tell you one thing. Your lie detector story, you better...
You better shelve it.
I pretty well forgot about that. We've missed the cash bribe all day. We're pretty much behind on everything.
We don't even need knuckleheads today, folks. We've got...
Jennifer, I'll tell you, that is one of the few times I've seen everybody totally lose it in this room when somebody walked up and took their clothes off and began to clean our windows.
Opinions expressed on the show are those of the participants, not necessarily those of the sponsors. We thank the Bakeria,
Right,
Red Smith,
Southwest
Cafe.
And none of those people came close to having this
Solutions.
impact.
We'll be back tomorrow with Breast Fest. And John just put on American Pie. And
Right. I'm going to have to be alone.
The things those guys came up with, that was Lanigan and Malone up in Cleveland at Magic, and Doc was a part of the team up there, and just absolutely, those guys were hysterical. And what'd you say, Ron, when you walked in here?
I said I came into Brad's office where he's sitting in the big chair, and I said, Brad, for the love of God, tell the jackholes our offices are dirty.
Yes.
And need to be cleaned.
Yes, they are. And it's not just, did you say orifices or offices?
Oh, offices.
The big difference there.
Yes.
But both need to be cleaned. We can get behind that.
We got a lot of cleaning that needs to be done up here.
How do you feel so far, Izzo?
I'm just putting that visual in my head and I'm digging it. It goes right along with everything else I want.
It's right.
Jackholes and cleaning and nakedness.
Interesting. Here's the thing, though. I'll bet you somebody would show up here and clean naked.
Yeah. Hashtag Izzo's dirty and needs a cleaning.
And it really doesn't even matter if you're good at cleaning. That's the beauty of it.
Or you clean. It doesn't matter.
Or you walk in, just hold a feather duster for a while, just stand there, and you're going to get paid one way or the other. I think that's one of the jackals.
You're looking at gawked at too.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you didn't want to get gawked at, don't show up naked.
Don't.
Huh. I think
you don't do that. You don't do that job unless you know you're getting gawked at.
No.
I think that there are probably
But
several.
she played it off
jackals.
pretty well. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, yes, she did. So we'll continue to play little snippets of days gone by with Doc Thompson at his the man who still holds the career record for the most firings in his life. We'll continue to play those little snippets as we go along. Wow.
Common Sense Train Reform is asking you, did you get those new numbers on procrastination yet? Asking for a friend.
That's a good question, and we're going to have to check those out. We've been working on ideas for our show close, and we'll maybe run a couple of ideas by you as we approach the end of the broadcast this morning. You know what you haven't had the pleasure of trying yet is MoJo Wild Rice.
No, I haven't. I keep hearing conversations about it. I know that Matlock does not like his sweet.
No, he doesn't. Nor does he like his rice sweet.
Yep.
But MoJo Wild Rice, if you go to MoJoWildRice.com, you will find yourself in the midst of the wild rice phenomena. There's so much good about MoJo Wild Rice. It's almost a complete protein. You can serve it up savory. You can serve it up sweet.
if you have someone to serve it up for you, you don't have to worry about cooking at all. It'll be it can keep indefinitely in its dry state once you cook it. I think it'll last 6 months in the freezer. It'll last 2 weeks in the fridge. I mean, it really is. It's incredible. It's not like have you ever had wild rice? Period.
No, I actually have not. Believe it or not,
it's not like rice. You
Okay.
picture white rice is just those little white grains. This is more of this is a grass.
Oh,
it's a long grain. I guess it's classified as a grass, and it is so good. Maybe Chef Patrick this week will cook some up while you're here.
do we have food here? We do eating here. We
always
eating,
have food here.
Food and drink.
Mm-hmm. We got enough booze to last us, like I said, a week.
So basically, I'm moving to Texas.
It could be. It could be. But if you go to MoJoWildRice.com, you'll find all the gift packs. It's the edible memories from the Northwoods of Minnesota, and we need to get Chef Patrick to cook up a bunch so we have some for breakfast for the rest of this week. You can find the grilling sampler packs. You can find the waffle sampler pack. All of the sampler packs. So you can just give it a little try. As a matter of fact, we got 2 big boxes from MoJo Wild Rice that we haven't opened yet, so we'll find out what's in those as well.
I think Ron, this backfired on him. The Jackholes are tweeting out, we'll send you guys big, fat, hairy, naked guys cleaning service as you requested. This is not going to work for us.
No, probably not. It's but you know what? Somewhere there's a market for that. It's like the Chippendales guys.
FNFL man says #Izzo's dirty. We need to get a band together to send a group of gay men who clean houses naked.
Why not?
It's not wrong.
No judgment. You can take it
For the
take it any way you
record,
can get
that's
it.
not the group we want coming to clean up.
Wow.
Just threw that out there.
Wow,
You didn't
so
have a
much
caveat.
hatred.
You needed a caveat out there.
How do you know that there's not somebody in here that wants to see some men running around naked?
Is there, Brad?
I don't know. I'm asking you. How do you know that there's not?
Why are you asking me? Don't ask me.
That look on your face.
No, it's not that.
Oh, I can see it plainly.
No, you cannot. I'm behind.
There's a fine line between a look of desire and disgust.
Well, do you notice that on Ron's face you can't quite tell? It's got a little. It's a kind of a half smile, half frown. I'm not sure.
It's the eye.
Curiosity.
Curious.
Just curiosity.
He's looking at us with disdain, or something along those lines.
Or the stain.
Either way, it works. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting week with you sitting over there in that side in the easy chair, as I call it.
I like this chair.
Remember,
you have a hard job. This is ridiculous.
This is damn it, the guy just left us with so much work. All these half completed projects that we now have to figure out how to complete. That son of a.
It's like a code to it's like the movie National Treasure. You are now putting together bits and pieces of like this is from here, this is from here, and you got to make it work. And the eureka moments will be good.
Yeah. Well, and Russ, I keep forgetting how to say it. Is it Russ Haslage?
Yeah.
Got to talk to him about the Odyssey project, which when we start putting this together, it's very cool. He's the jackhole who gave me the Star Trek Friendship.
Oh, that is very cool. Wrath of Khan. Yep, fantastic.
So somewhere in a box, there's the other half of that.
There's a lot of euphemisms going on.
I'm telling you. And remember, when all of the booze runs out, we have to figure out someone else to go jogging by a railroad track because we're not going to go out and spend money of our own on booze. So we have to figure out who.
Izzo might take one for the team. We don't know. We don't know.
I mean, if it results,
I'm thinking if a train hits Izzo, it's going to hurt the train.
Son of a.
Might.
That's right.
Little fire
He'll
plug.
just punch it.
I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. But good things will be coming as we move forward with this project. And we're working on a new a show close. We don't have it there yet, but it's going to involve something with the 5 rules. Maybe something along the lines of you can be right or you can be happy. Doc hated that one. He really hated that one. And I think it should always end with good night, Doc Thompson. We know where you are. That one likes. I like that one. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.